Hello friends. This is Fictional Vortex. How are you all? So in this video, we will see what if Naruto was Kryptonian son of General Zod. Summary. W. Had if at the night of Cadmus there was another clone but one of General Zod, how would Superman, Justice League, the team, and the world handle Naruto Uzumaki, Kryptonian son of General Zod? But before we start, if you want more stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if possible, share this video with your friends. Now let's start the story. Year 2007. Project Cadmus Genetic Research Lab, but that is just a front. Project Cadmus' true motives are to create clones for the light. The Cadmus building is run by Dr. Mark Desmond, who was served by XX, Amanda Spence, and a brainwashed Guardian who was the clone of the original Guardian, Jim Harper. Project Cadmus has even created alien-like creatures known as Genomorphs, they consisting Genomorphs, small Genomorphs with telepathy, of G-dwarves, the worker Genomorphs with tentacles, G-spirites, insect-like Genomorphs that are kept in jars and are capable of generating electricity, G-trolls, large Genomorphs with super strength, and G-goblins, humanoid Genomorphs with telepathy and telekinesis. But today Desmond is being called by the members of the Light. Desmond walks over to his lab, turning it on, seeing 7 faces who are blocked by light, only allowing you to see silhouette of their heads. Hello everyone, good to hear from the Light, said Mark Desmond in a serious tone. Nay, he then raises his glasses, keeping them from falling. Hey, it's good to see you too, Doctor, giggled L7 sinisterly. If you could see the person's face you would see Clarion the witch boy grinning like a demonic creature. A man then coughs to gain everyone's attention. Drive. Despond then turns and looks at what seems to be a bald man. L-7, that's quite enough. Drive. Desmond wishes to inform us of his progress with the subject. Besides L7, you can always play with Dr. Desmond later, said L3, a man whose tone has a well-manner and business-type man. This seemingly bald-looking man is none other than the billionaire Lex Luthor, leader of LexCorp. L3 is correct, we have important business to do and things need to be done, said L1, whose face in the middle of the screen, the man giving off a tone of leadership that would belong to dictator. The man has deep voice, having a deep accent, possessing an accent that is unknown. This man is Vandal Savage, the immortal caveman and leader of the Light. Desmond nods his head, understanding the seriousness of the situation, but he's also as full with excitement at the prospect of a new experiment. If there's one thing Desmond loves is his expert immense, which he prides himself. He's specially proud with the Superman clone. Ah yes, L1, Project Kerr is going well now that we use human DNA. The superclone is more stable and a lesser chance of going rogue like Match. But of course, since Kerr is half human, he only retains his super strength, enhanced speed, telescopic vision, infrared vision, super hearing, and invulnerability, but being half Kryptonian makes it more easier to control for the Light. But you should know he isn't at Superman's or Kryptonian level, said Mark Despond. Each of the heads of the Light nods their head except for Brain, since he doesn't have a body. They each allow what they've been told. They were each proud with the progress of the Genomorphs, Guardian, Project Arrow, and Project Kerr. Yes, thank you, Dr. Mark Despond. The Light is proud of your work at Cadmus as well with the development of Project Match, Project Kerr and the Genomorphs, said L6, sounding alike, deep French robotic accent voice. This is He Brain, a French mastermind and criminal genius with high intelligence. The silhouette of Light nods their head in agreement, but if you could see their faces you would see Vandal Savage, Lex Luthor, and Clarion smirking sinisterly. Now gentlemen and lady, I believe we have done enough stalling, said L2, giving off a proper tone-like voice. Those man is Ra's al Ghul, leader of the League of Shish Ados and also known as the Demon's Head. He glances to L4, the only female member within the Light. This woman is Queen Bee of Belia. She possesses the ability of persuasion over most men and some women. That is correct, we should start the next project at hand, said L4 in a sultry tone. Desmond's eyes shine in wonder, curiosity, and excitement at the new project he will be working on. New project? Asked Desmond. The new experiment you will be working is to create another Kryptonian clone, said L4, informing the doctor of new experiment he will be working on. Mark Desmond is confused, curious if I may, L4, but how come you want another Kryptonian clone, asked Desmond. But if he could see the members of the Light he would see each of them glaring at him except for the Brain. Do not question the Light, Doctor, or it would have consequences, threatened L6. Mark Desmond gulped. He may be smart, but even he knew the Light could always find some to replace him if He ever stray RD from the light yes L6 it won't ever happen again, said Desmond, fearing for his life if he steps out of line. Yes, do make sure that you do, Desmond, or your end shall be swift. Now, back to what L4 was saying. The light wishes to create another Kryptonian clone, said L5 said in tone that held nothing but authority. This man is Ocean Master, an Atlantean and half-brother of Aquaman. So are we going to be cloning Superman again, asked Mark Despond. L5 and the rest shake their head negatively. No, the light doesn't want another Superman clone, we want a Kryptonian clone. Nay, but not Superman, we want a clone of the Kryptonian General Zod, said L5. Mark Desmond is shocked and awestruck at the idea. Cloning General Zod, to say the Doctor wasn't scared would be an understatement. Adamant he still remembers all those years when Superman and Zod fought, destroying parts of Smallville and half of Metropolis. They would have destroyed more if it wasn't for the help of the government. The world would have been destroyed. You want me to make a clone of General Zod? Wow, that's just outstanding. So I take it you want the clone to be a hybrid of alien and human, right, said a smirking Mark Desmond. No, not exactly. The light wants the General Zod clone to be 100% Kryptonian, said L1 as he informs the Doctor. Mark Desmond just raises his eyebrow at wanting the clone to be full Kryptonian. While we were creating Project Match, we only use a portain of the Kryptonian's DNA. This time, Dr. Mark Desmond, you will be using the whole body of General Zod to create the next step of our plan, Project GN, said L2. Desmond just smirks at the prospect of using that much material to clone the now dubbed Project GN. L4 just snickers at the Doctor finding the Mad Doctor exit. Meant amusing. In a few short hours we will be sending the body of the Kryptonian General to you, said a cackling L7. Do not fail us, Doctor, or there will be consequences, threatened L1 as he glares at the Doctor. But if you can see the face of Lex Luthor smirking. When the clone is ready, keep us updated on the clone's progress, said L3. Yes, of course it will be done, said Desmond. He smiles, seeing the approval nod of the light. The screens then shut off. Desmond then lets out a huge sigh that he didn't know he was holding back. He then removes his glasses, whipping off the sweat from his forehead. He then hears footsteps. He turns his head, seeing a strongly built Caucasian male with red hair and blue eyes. He strongly resembles Green Arrow's partner, Speedy. He wears a dark blue jumpsuit with a golden helmet and golden shoulder and wrist pads. This man, resembling the superhero Speedy, is the clone Guardian. He's carrying his helmet as he walks to Desmond. He gives the Doctor a low bow. Hello, Dr. Mark. Desmond, I take it the meeting went well, asked Guardian. Desmond nods his head, whipping the sweat off. Yes, Guardian, it did. The head of Cadmus just gave us our next project. ECTGN, creating a clone from General Zod, said Desmond. Guardian is shocked at hear the next project is cloning the fearsome General Zod who nearly destroyed the planet. They want a clone of him. I suppose with all the threats coming up that can be accepted, said Guardian. Desmond then puts his glasses on. He then coughs in his hand, gaining the attention of Guardian. Yes, and it's our duty to deal with possible threats, said Desmond. He then sighs. 2 minutes later of silence. Guardian, get ready. In a few short hours the body of Zod will be here, said Desmond. Yes, Doc. Sure, when do you think the body will be here, asked Guardian. He then puts his golden helmet back on. Desmond then rubs his chin. If I had to guess I would say within 2 hours, explained Desmond. Guardian and nods his head. He and both get the cloning tube ready for Project GN. They both exit the lab. As they leave, Desmond grabs a vial marked Project Blockbuster. He then puts the vial in a frozen container. 2 hours later, Dr. Desmond and Amanda Spence see 4 men in SWAT-like suits with the word Cadmus on them. They have a dead man. He has short hair. He also has scar on the right side of his face. His scar is next to his eye. This dead man is General Zod, a man who almost turned Earth into Krypton by using a world engine. So this is General Zod, asked Amanda Spence. She is an African American with brown hair. When working, she wears a white lab coat over a light green or brown turtleneck with a dark pencil skirt. She also wears glasses. Yes, Dr. Amanda, what we're about to do might be nay of the greatest creation Cadmus has ever created, said Desmond, smiling at the dead clone. Year 2008. 1 year later. After 1 year they done it. Project GN is complete after multiple tests and experiments. They having created the clone of Zod, a perfect clone with no defaults, unlike Project Match who is unstable. Project GN is stable and won't go berserk, thanks to stabilizing the necessary components of the Kryptonian DNA. They were able to have the clone using all Kryptonian abilities. Desmond then thinks back to 2 months ago when the Light wanted Project GN to be immune to some of the harmful kryptonite. Desmond develops a serum from a number of rare plants that was grown under certain kryptonite light filters. When they injected the serum, it made Project GN immune to green and red kryptonite, but he's still affected by blue, gold, black, and jewel, but they didn't have to worry due to black and gold was destroyed when Brainiac came to Earth. Flashback 2 months ago. Mark D. Esmond is in front of a huge screen with the silhouette of the Light L7, then cackles sinisterly, which doesn't belong to him since he's a child, but with Clarion being a child it makes the sinisterly cackle even more creepy. Hey, it's good to see you again. Today is going to be quite special, said L7, grinning like his parents just got him the toy he's begging them for. Desmond raises his eyebrow at Clarion, wondering what he's talking about. L7, do you think you can explain a little more? Asked Desmond in a polite tone, not trying to piss off any member of the Light. I believe I can explain perhaps more than my colleague here. We the Light have a project we want you to do, said L2 in a well-mannered line tone. Whatever it is, I'll get it down, said a confident, but when you've been working at Cadmus you're allowed to be a little overconfident. They all smirked at this. Thank you, Doctor, we appreciate your willingness to cooperate. The project we want you to do is to make a serum that would allow Project GN to be immune to kryptonite. Do you think you can do it, Doctor? Asked L3. Desmond nods his head. Yes, I do. It shall be done, said Desmond in a serious tone. Thank you, Doctor, we will leave you to your work, said L3 the C, and then shut off. Desmond then sighs, takes off his glasses, rubbing his eyes. Okay, now they want me to make a serum that will allow him to be immune to kryptonite, said Desmond. He then shakes his head at the feeling. For some reason sighing and rubbing his eyes has become a routine of his. Heathen walks over to his assistant. Good evening, Amanda. What is the status of Project GN? Asked Desmond. Amanda Spence just smiles at her stern and serious boss. She can understand him being so stern with dealing with the board of directors. She knew full well they can be quite demanding and doesn't stand for when their employees messes something else. I take it the meeting went stressful, Dr. Desmond? Asked a concerned Amanda Spence. OND coughs in his hand. He then puts his glasses back. He then turns his head for the little gnome on Amanda Spence's shoulder. I suppose you can say that looks like we have another assignment. The board of directors wants me to create a serum so Project GN would be immune, said Desmond. Well, I suppose it's a good thing we collected those Kryptonian plants, weaponry, and technology when General Zod invaded, said Desmond as he motioned for Amanda Spence to follow him. As she follow him, Desmond leads Amanda to what looks like a greenhouse on the glass door. K-Nor. Desmond pulls out his card swipen. G at the door unlocks. Both doctor and scientist are greeted to 5 majestic and strange flowers that would belong in a fantasy book or another planet, which they weren't far from it. This greenhouse is housed by the plants that once inhabited Krypton. The blood bloom plant is a species of plant-like organism that lives near Krypton's iconic Fire Falls. The fluids within the plant are highly flammable. The plant secretes these fluids, and apparently this is what causes the Fire Falls to be aflame, although in some continuities the Fire Falls are magma lava flows. Knotted trees are a form of plant life native to Rhea, the moon of Saturn. They don't have any visible leaves. The Origus plant is a large plant native to Krypton. The juice from it can be used in cooking. The plant is very similar to the giant orchid of Earth. The Nexus flower is a medium-sized flower. THST has small crystal into the leaves. This plant is native Candor. The leaves can be used as seasoning for food. This plant looks like a dragon lily flower. The Arctic raptor blossom flower that lives within an underwater cave near Krypton. The fluid within the plant is liquid that have healing properties and cold liquid. Amanda Spence is amazed at the flowers and how different they are from any flower. Wow, this place is amazing, said Amanda with her eyes shined in wonder. Dr. Mark Desmond laughs in amusement at his assistant enjoying the look on her. It's as if she's looking at one of 7 wonders of the world, thought Desmond as amusing this is to see your face filled with amusement. Avenue work to do, my assistant, said Desmond. Amanda nods her head. Yes, doctor, it won't happen again. If I may, how exactly are these flowers going to make Project GN immune to kryptonite? Asked Amanda in a polite tone. Desmond then points at one of the light blobs. You see that? Asked Desmond. She nods her head. Yes, but it's just a normal light blob, stated Amanda, not really knowing what is so Peschel Desmond then smirks at her clueless expression. This isn't any normal solar light bulb. No, this light bulb is kryptonite, said Desmond. He then smirks in amusement at her shocked expression. Wait. If that light bulb is made out of kryptonite, what about the other light bulbs? Looking at the other 6 light bulbs, Desmond shakes his head negatively. He then points at the kryptonite light bulb. No, that light bulb is the only one that's a kryptonite light bulb, and reason for that is because with the flowers being showered in both kryptonite and solar rays won't just strengthen the flowers but will empower the plants, and with the Kryptonian rays will strengthen the plants, but together the plant will be able to allow a Kryptonian to be immune to kryptonite, explained Desmond. They then begun cutting and crushing the plants, mixing them together. After 10 days of testing, experimenting, and failures, they have finally done it. They have created the serum. So are you going to give the serum a name? Asked Amanda. Actually, I have thought of a name for the serum. I think I will call it Project Wildfire, said Desmond, having an evil smirk that would give you Mad Doctor vibe. Thank you for your help. I will SJOW Project Wildfire to Board of Directors, said Desmond. He then picks up the serum. Then he walks away towards his personal office. As he enters his office, he goes to his office. Hi. TTING, a few numbers. His screen then lights up with a phone logo. Desmond patiently waits for the members of the light to appear. 1 minute later, the members of the light appear on the screen. It's good to see you, Doctor. Do you have what requested? Asked L3 using his normal charming voice. If it wasn't for the charm in his voice, you would probably be surprised. He's obsessed with Superman or anything to do with Son of Krypton. Desmond nods his head. He then grabs the vial that contains the serum to allow Naruto to be immune. If he could see their faces, Desmond would see each of them smirking. This, gentleman and lady, is the serum I've created for you. With Project GN won't be affected to green or red kryptonite but will still be affected by blue kryptonite. I call this serum Project Wildfire, said Desmond. Fitting name, Doctor, but enough with the small talk. We came to see if Yout serum actually works, said L7, glaring at Desmond. Bring the clone so we can actually see if it were. KS, and if it doesn't work and the serum kills GN, you will be responsible, ordered L1. Yes, of course, L1. He then presses a button on his phone. Someone get me Project GN, ordered Desmond. With Project GN. Within a training hall, a young man who appears to be 16 years old. He has tan skin. His has blonde hair with 4 bangs on the left side of his face. Look YP Naruto Tale of AG. Utsi Ninja, and you'll see what his hairstyle look like. The young man has 6 whisker-like birthmarks on each of his cheeks. This young man is Project GN Cadmus' new clone. He's wearing a solar suit like the one Project Kerr, but instead of it being white, his is black and red, and he doesn't have a S on his emblem. Project GN has a U in the middle of his emblem. His suit basically is the suit Superboy wears in the new 52 series. Project GN also has a nose on his shoulder. Project GN is facing off against 3G trolls. Project GN has a Kryptonian pistol in his left hand, and in his right hand he's holding a gun that looks alien-like. It resembles the Super Silverizer from Power Rangers in space. This weapon is known as Negative Astro Blaster, a weapon that once was part of Brainiac warship, but Cadmus was able to duplicate and reverse engineering the technology of Brainiac's homeworld Kulin. The 3G trolls growled at him, showing their teeth. Project GN looks up at the huge Genomorphs with a stoic face that would make the Dark Knight give one of his famous bat smirks. The one in the middle one will charge straight. The one on the right will jump in the air and slam his fist down. The one on your left will also jump in the air trying to stop us, thought the gnome. Project GN nods his head. Thank you, Genome 0552. Now shall we begin, thought Naruto, getting a nod from Genome 0552 as the Genome's eyes lit up red, and just as Genome 0552 said, the G-Troll in the center is charging while the other 2 jumped in the air. With the one on the right raises its fist ND, the one on the left raises its foot in a stomping motion. It seems Genome 0552 is right. No surprising there, since G-Trolls aren't known for their intelligence, said Project GN. Project GN jumps up in the air, jumping on top of the Genome head. The weight of having its head used as a stepping stool caused the G-Troll to slam into the ground. The clone of Zod raises the Kryptonian pistol at G-Troll. Project GN shoots at the Genome. The pistol then fires energy blast at the G-Troll. He then blasts the G-Troll in the eyes. After the G-Troll falls down, Project GN then uses the Negative Astro blaster at the other G-Troll in its eyes. This blaster shoots a energy-like blast. This gun actually shoots atom energy blast. The G-Trolls then howls in pain as both of them has been blind. Project ECTGN then flies above them. He pulls out 13 shuriken-like blades. These blades are made out of the same metal that can be found on the hell-like planet Apocalypse that is ruled by Darkseid. Project TGN then throws the shuriken at each of the G-Trolls' limbs, pinning them down. Project GN then inhales a deep breath. He then blows out an icy wind, freezing each of the G-Trolls. He then hears clapping. He turns a rub, seeing Guardian with his helmet on. Guardian also has a Genome on his shoulder. He's smiling at Project GN with an amazed look. "Wow, that was amazing, Ultraman," said Guardian with his eyes full of amazement. He then shakes his head out of train of thought. "I came to tell you Dr. Desmond wants to see you," said Desmond. The now identified Ultraman nods his head. He then Icky uses his super speed to put his guns away. "It was nothing all, it was a strategy." "Lead the way, Guardian," said Ultraman. 8 minutes later, Ultraman Man is standing next to Desmond. Guardian told me you wanted to see me, is that correct, Doctor? Asked the stoic Ultraman, not even glancing at the screen that has the silhouette of the light. Desmond nods his head. "That is correct, Ultraman. The light wishes to test something. I've made this serum that will make you immune to kryptonite, but not just any kryptonite. It would make you immune to green and red kryptonite," said Dr. Ultraman's eyes widen at the prospect of being immune to kryptonite. "Cuckoo, hello Ultraman, it's so nice to see you again," said L7, smirking at Ultraman with his voice laced with sinister. Ultraman doesn't LTER. He bows to L7 and the rest of the light. "Hello Light, it's good to see you," said Ultraman, showing his respect to the light. He then glances around. "See the serum? I suppose this meeting is your doing?" asked Ultraman, having a bland face, showing no emotion whatsoever. L1 nods as his liking. "Neither of them have to explain why they are here, correct, Ultraman? If this works, you will not only be immune to kryptonite, you'll also have a huge advantage over Superman, Superboy, and Supergirl," said L1. Ultraman nods his head in an understanding look. "And if any of them shall fall to the light, you will replace them," said L5, glaring at Ultraman. "This would have worked on Ultraman if Ultraman fear anything." "Understood," said an emotionless Ultraman. "Very well, Ultraman, sit down and I'll inject the serum. I'd suggest you to hold on to something. This will hurry a lot," said Desmond as he motioned Ultraman. The clone of Zod sits down in a chair. Desmond doesn't bother to strap Ultraman CNCE. He would just break out of his bindings. As Ultraman sits down in the chair, Desmond picks up the vial. He then puts the serum into a medical need. He then raises Ultraman's sleeve. Usually a regular needle wouldn't do anything, but this isn't a normal needle. No, this needle is laced with kryptonite. Desmond then hold on to Ultraman's arm. He then injects Project Wildfire. Ultraman grits his teeth. "In pain, son of a bitch. I didn't know it would hurt this much, but I can take it. I'm the clone of General Zod," thought Ultraman, and then bites his lip, stopping himself from yelling in pain. The light in Desmond wait patiently for any signs of the clone of the Kryptonian general surviving the treat, or if he dies in the process. 10 minutes later, Ultraman stops grunting with sweat coming down from his forehead. Ultraman then breathes in out heavenly, having been injected with the serum that has been washed in kryptonite rays. Desmond then hooks Ultraman up to a heart monitor so they can see if Ultraman survives the serum. The light and Desmond watch closely as the clone's heartbeat beats at rapid pace. Desmond waits as he holds his breath, waiting to see if Project GN dies or live. "Come on, Project GN, you have live," thought a nervous and scared Desmond. The heart monitor then starts to beat steadily. Desmond then sighs happily. "Thank God Project GN survived, that means I get to live," thought Desmondi. As Ultraman's heartbeat, Ultraman is breathing heavily at almost dying. "Procedure completed," said Desmond. "Now we have to see if Project GN is immune to kryptonite. Doctor, bring out all kryptonite you can find," said L2, wanting to see if the serum truly worked. Desmond nods his head. He pulls a green, red, and blue rock. "Now it's time to see if Project Wildfire truly works," said L6. Desmond agrees. "Judgment Day," said Desmond. He then walks over to Ultraman. He then points the green kryptonite at Ultraman, but nothing happened. Ultraman doesn't like incredibly weak. Everyone nods their head, seeing Ultraman has become immune. Desmond then points the red kryptonite at Ultraman, but the young clone doesn't feel like his inhibitions has been removed. He felt like himself actually. He then puts down the red kryptonite. Desmond smiles at this. He then picks up the blue kryptonite. He then gives Ultraman the blue kryptonite. The son of General Zod grabs the blue kryptonite. The light deck Ides to test the blue Kryptonite. Seeing how the blue rock removes a Kryptonian's power, leaving them powerless as a human. Ultraman, use your heat, ordered L1. Ultraman nods his head yes. The L1 Ultram An's eyes start to glow red, but suddenly his now blazing red eyes turn blue. Ultraman is shocked, he's unable to use his heat vision. Ultraman is surprised he's not able to use his heat vision. Ultran then tries to crush the blue rock but soon finds out he's unable to crush the blue Kryptonite. L1 I'm unable use my heat vision and super strength, said Ultraman. Vandal, Savage and the rest of the League HT nod their head in approval. Good work Dr. Cuckoo. Ultraman has become immune to both green and red Kryptonite, cackled Clarion. Yes, while Ultraman is immune to both Kryptonite, I believe we can use this to our advantage, gentlemen, said L4. The men in the light can see while the blue Kryptonite still affects the clone of General Zod, he can also improve himself. Raz Al Ghul decides to Aka Decisive, you are quite correct L4. I have an answer. I suggest Ultra learns the fighting style from both the League of Shadows and the Court of Owls, stated L2. Agreed, Ultraman shall learn fighting style from both League of Shadows. L2 contact John Wycliffe to let him know we will need one of their member to train Ultraman in their fighting style. You will also trained Ultraman, ordered L1. Raz nods his head understanding. Flashback end. Ever since then Naruto has been able to learn the fighting style of both League of Shadows and the Court of Owls. It also helps that you also have a genome giving you help so he can learn faster. During last month he was ordered to infiltrate the Las Vegas, Nevada and stealing the blueprints of a hybrid of Superman and Captain Atom. Another mission was destroying half of Nigeria. The reason for this was to leak out information about the Light and their involvement. Of course the Light couldn't allow this, so they send Ultraman to set off a nuke destroying half of Nigeria. Of course no one actually knew it was caused by a metahuman since Ultraman used normal guns. The people suspected a small civil war happened. Sadly no one will truly know what truly happened. Ultraman would then team up with Andrea Beaumont, also known as the Phantasm. They were both ordered to find the supervillain Hush and kill him because Hush had somehow gained the files of the Injustice League and was going to release said information, ruining the Light plans to say finding him was hard would be an understatement. It was easy since Thomas Elliot had one hug. Problem, he was homelessly obsessed with Bruce Wayne. They lured the psychotic doctor out by giving false information about Bruce Wayne being at a party in San Francisco. Hush would then try to kill Bridge Wayne with grenades, but before Hush can kill anyone, Phantasm used her smoke machine blocking everyone's vision. Naruto then would pull out a L115A3 shooting Hush in the head. But now he has a new mission. Ultraman has been freed from his tube. I don't know what the fuck Superboy was in when Robin, Aqualad and Kid Flash found him. Ultraman man is now standing front of a screen. Hello Light, what do you need, asked Ultraman with his voice laced with no emotion whatsoever. That is correct Ultraman, we want you to head to Abbottabad, Pakistan. A leader of a terrorist group known as Al-Qaeda. The founder of this organization is Osama bin Muhammad bin Awad bin, he also goes by the name of Osama bin Laden. They have got their hands on some alien technology. You are to go there and kill ever last member, ordered L-1, informing Ultraman on his newest mission. If I may, what kind of alien technology does this Al-Qaeda group possess, asked Ultraman as he wonders why he has to kill this Osama bin Laden. The alien technology is of Apocalypse, the planet ruled by Darkseid, and if that terrorist has that technology he would most likely ruin our plans, said L4, explaining the situation. On to the clone. So from what I can guess he's the type of terrorist that believe killing the innocent will allow him to go to heaven. What a fucking idiot to believe a psychopath like himself will gain access to heaven by murdering innocent people. I'll make sure he has a painful death. Now you understand, go there and destroy everything, leave no evidence you were ever there. You have 3 hours to leave, said L6. Ultraman nods his head. Understood, it shall be done, said Ultraman. Ultraman then walk away heading to see the sleeping Superboy. Ultraman hears someone walking behind him. He sees the genome walking behind him. The genome crawls onto Ultraman's shoulder. Hello Ultraman, you wish to talk to Superboy, asked Genome 0552. Yeah I do, 0552, link us up, ordered Ultraman. Genome 0552. Eyes glowed red telepathic link completed, friend. Ultraman thought Genome 0552. Ultraman then shakes his head negatively at his small friend. I swear we need to find you a better name, thought Naruto. Genome 0552 tilts his head, causing the blonde Kryptonian, what's wrong with the name I have been given, thought Genome 0552. Ultraman then massages the temple of his forehead. Nothing is WR. With it, but your name sounds more of a codename than an actually name, thought Ultraman. 1 minute of silence has passed. Very well, if you could name me, what would you call me, friend Ultraman? Thought Genomo 552. Ultraman then rubs his chin. 3 minutes of silence later, Ultraman snaps his fingers. I got it. I'll call you Hiwanoshisha. Chibata grinning. Ultraman. Ah, Hiwanoshisha means messenger of peace in Japanese, thought the now named Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman nods his head. I believe Superboy is extremely angry, said Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman turns his head, seeing an Anno. Yet Superboy. Ultraman thrn smirks. Hello half-blood, thought Ultraman. During the past months he heard that Superboy is only half Kryptonian. After that he would constantly tease Superboy. It also irk Ed Superboy that Ultraman his brother in everything but in blood won't tell him the reason. Would you stop calling me? Why have you come to visit me, brother, thought Superboy. He always enjoyed ethically talking with his brother, but he could tell this isn't a normal friendly visit. To answer your first question, no I won't. Also, do you know of a person called Osama bin Laden? Asked Ultraman telepathically. Yes, said Superboy telepathically. Good, then that means I don't need to explain. I was ordered to kill all members of the terrorist group, said Ultraman telepathically. Superb. Oi then telepathically nods his head. Be careful, brother, this Osama guy is insane, said Superboy telepathically. Ultraman then smirks. I'm not the one that should be careful, the humans should be. See you later, said Ultraman. See you later, brother, said Superboy telepathically. Hiwanoshisha eyes stopped glowing. Telepathic link cancelled, thought Hiwanoshisha. The duo then start walking until they come across Ultraman's weaponry room. As they enter the weaponry room they see tons of Kryptonian pistol, Kryptonian rifle, Kulan blasters, Kulan shuriken, Kryptonian grenade, Beretta 92FS, dark matter grenade, dark matter shotgun, L11A3 sniper rifle, new Genesis pistols, smoke bombs, kryptonite-laced shuriken, kryptonite-laced kunai, kryptonite-laced okatana, muramasa, kryptonite-laced bullets. Tachi, a blade that's made out of metal from Apocalypse, a machine that has an oval-shaped side. In the middle of the oval machine it has a green round-like visor. It has a 3-3 circle in a Shah-Pei-like pattern similar to the marking of Brainiac. The oval machine is purple. It has silver lines across on each side. The machine is called Volcan, a machine from Brainiac's homeworld Kulan, and tear gas. So which weapon will you bring, my friend, asked Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman then looks around looking at his weapons and deciding which weapon to choose. I think I'll take my Tachi, L11A3 sniper rifle, Beretta 92FS. Kryptonian grenades, smoke bombs, Muramasa sword, and negative astro blastet, said Ultraman. Hiwanoshisha nods his head. If he could he would smile. Ah, very good choice, Ultraman. Will you like me to come along? Asked Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman nods his head. Yeah, I would, but you seem to forget you're my partner, said Ultraman. He then spent 2 hours prepping his guns and making sure he has enough bullets and grenade. Naruto then walks over to a metal case that has the name Ultraman on it. Ultraman then presses his hand on a hand scanner. The hand scanner glows neon green. The metal case then unlocks. Under the metal case is what looks like a superhero suit. The suit is black, red, blue, gray, and gold. The suit has an owl-like helmet. The owl-shaped frame is gray and the rest of it is black. The chest plate has a feather-like pattern. In the middle is AU. The back on the cape is red and the inside of the cape is dark blue. On the stomach is gray, armored like the B caged of the torso is black. On the ribs is blue. The suit has golden arm gauntlet. He has a golden belt. The pouches of the belt are fairly large. The legs of suit is blue in colored. On the thighs gray armored like plates and the boots are golden armored. This is the suit Ultraman uses when on mission. The suit is a combination of Ultraman's and Almond's suit from Justice League, Crisis on Two Earths. Naruto then puts his smoke bombs, kunai, shuriken, and grenades into his utility belt. He then grabs his gun holders. He strapped them to his leg and back. He straps the L11A3 sniper FLE and Beretta 92FS to his back and the negative astro blaster to his gun holder. Ultraman then straps his Tachi and Muramasa to his back. You ready, Hiwanoshisha, to kill some terrorist? asked a smirking Ultraman as he cracks his knuckles. Hiwanoshisha nods his head. Ultraman then turns his head to the Volcan machine. Drift, come on with you, I'll be able to get there quicker, ordered Ultraman. Drift's green visor then lights up. Okay, Ultraman. I wonder if this mission will be exciting as mission we had with Phantasm in Star City Wonder Drift. Her voice sounds like Amy Jo Johnson. Ultraman just shrugged his shoulders as he, Hiwano Shisha, and Drift make it to a room that looks like a hangar. Ultraman then looks at a very young woman around the age of 25. The woman has orange hair and red eyes. She has red lipstick. She's wearing a black bodysuit and SWAT-like armor. This young woman is Claire Seltpien, a metahuman who was born with pyrokinesis. Hey Claire, said Ultraman smiling. At the Orangenet, this would be a weird thing seeing Ultraman showing emotion, but he only does this with Desmond and the light. The Pryokinesis smiles warmly at the blonde clone. He was one of the few people within Cadmus wasn't scared of her. Mostly due to the fact he's a Kryptonian. Hey Ultraman, what you need? Asked Claire. I need you to open the hangar. I have a mission, said Ultraman. Claire then has an O-like expression. Sure, no problem, said Claire. She then presses a button and the hangar door opens up. He then turns his attention to the Volcon drift jet mode. Ordered Ultrama. And he then quickly steps back several feet away. It shall be done, Ultraman, said Drift. The Volcon then transform into an alien jet. Her jet form looks like Megatron jet form from the Transform RS movie. The jet is purple and green. Ultraman then hoops inside the alien jet. He then straps himself in the trio, then take off. He then clicks one of the knobs. Him and the alien jet become invisible. Cloaking mode activates, said Drift. The trio then fly to Abbottabad, Pakistan. They get there fairly short when they start going Mach 3. Ultraman then uses his X-ray vision to see through all the uses in the desert as he searches through every house until he sees a large warehouse with 50 Arabian soldiers, each of them holding assault rifles, Apocalypse blaster gun, AK-47, and M16 rifle. He sees the leader of the terrorist Osama in a room with him and 3 naked women. Found you son of a bitch, said Ultraman. Drift opened the hatch, ordered Ultraman. You got it, Ultraman, said D. Rift. The high advanced technology opens the hatch, allowing Ultraman to fly out of his seat. Thanks, Drift. Now turn back to oval mode, ordered Ultraman. As he flies in the sky, Drift transforms back to her oval form. The trio then flies to the warehouse. They stop when they were 5 yards away. Ultraman then unstraps his L11A3 sniper rifle. He then gets into sniper forming, looking through the scope, locking on one of the soldiers. Drift, you target the left side of the building, leave none alive, ordered Ultraman. It shall be done, Ultraman, said Drift. She then transformed into a lightly armed heavy-speed recon vehicle. Modified from a civilian racing bike, it has 2 large proton cannon, 1 small plasma cannon, twin machine guns, and a cloaking device to shield the vehicle from prying eyes. The machine is as purple and green. Hover mode activates, said Drift. She then activates her cloaking device, heading to eliminate the terrorist. Ultraman then fires a shot at a soldier. Terrorists are shocked at seeing one of their men shot and killed. Ultraman then fires another shoot at a soldier in the neck, causing the man to choke on his own blood. With Drift, to say the terrorist had a winning against the highly advanced Volcon was a fairy. Was a lie. The terrorists were hopelessly unmatched and outgunned. Even if they had weapons from Apocalypse, still didn't help them. One of the Sautiers try shooting at Drift, but the bullets and energy blast have no effect on Drift. Ma hdha. Shaitan min al-Jahim. What is this? A demon from hell, yelled a soldier. 2 large cannons. Lights. Photon cannon activates, said Drift. Shen fire the 2 cannon at the ceiling, causing the ceiling to fall apart, causing the weight of the ceiling to crush the terrorist and the terrorist above to fall to their death. Mission complete, targets eliminated, said Drift. With Ultraman, continues to mercilessly kill the terrorist. He then steps up from his sniping formation. Time to get to work, said Ultraman. He then reaches into his utility belt, pulling out 2 Kryptonian grenades. He then throws them at the 2 open windows. When the grenades exploded, causing a huge explosion to occur, destroying half of the building. He then flies into the warehouse. He throws down a smoke bomb, blocking all the humans' vision. Ultraman then exhales an icy wind, freezing all the terror. Saint, are there any more? Asked Ultraman as he uses his heat vision on everyone that's frozen. Hawano Shisha eyes glow red. No, both you and Drift killed all of them. The only one left is Osama, who's on right corner being guarded by his men, said Hawano Shisha. Ultraman nods his head. He then unsheaths both of his sword. He then flies to where Osama is. He sees 5 men guarding the door, with each of them holding laser-like guns. As he runs around the corner, he grabs a soldier by their face. He then brutally rips him in half. The soldiers are so shocked that they are unable to shoot at Ultraman H. He then raises his swords. He skillfully cuts the man head and legs off before the man knew it. He's already dead. 2 down 3 to go, said Ultraman in a cold down. After seeing 2 off their camera. Aides murdered the lat. Remaining 3 start to open fire. Ultraman uses super speed to dodge all of the shots. He quickly sheath his swords. Ultraman eyes glow red. He then uses his heat vision on EAC. Each of their hands, causing the men to drop their weapons. Ultraman then open palms on a soldier, causing the man's chest to shatter. This caused the bones in the torso to pierce through the man's heart. He then reaches to his utility belt, pulling out a kunai. He then runs to a soldier on the left side of him. He then gets behind the man. He then stabs the soldier in the back, causing said man to scream in pain. Ultraman then grabs the man, mouth shutting him up. He then stops stabbing the man in the back. He then stabs the man in the neck. He slowly and painfully slits the man's throat. He then drews the dead terrorist. He turned his attention to the last soldier. The man then pulls out a pistol. He then starts to open fire on Ultraman, but all the bullets bounce off of him. Mo Mons. Ter, said the terrified man. He then drops his gun, cowering at Ultraman. Ultraman then smirks at the cowering man. Monster. What are you, monster? Soldier, dog. That dog is neither man nor monster. Only a man can truly hope to kill a monster, said Ultraman as Ultraman gets ready to use his heat vision. The man then pulls out a grenade and detonate the grenade, attempting to kill both himself and Ultraman. Too bad his attempt didn't work. The only thing that did work was the man committing suicide. Idiot, if I was human that might have worked, said Ultraman. He then opens the door that once was guarded. When he opens the door, he sees 3 naked Arabian women and Osama bin Laden. Ultraman then pulls his Beretta. He then shoots 3 naked women in the head, killing them. Osama tries to shoot Ultraman. He then throws a kunai at the barrel of the gun. The gun then explodes into the man's hand. Ultraman then uses his super breathe, launching the terrorist against the wall, leaving the web cracked. Osama struggles to get up. Why ha, have you done those? Stuttered Osama as he tries to get up, but failing due to his fractured spine. Ultraman's eyes glowed red. Because you have from the light, said Ultraman. The mention of the light frightened Osama. Before he could respond, Ultraman shot Osama in the head 3 times. And so ends the terrorist group, thought Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman nods his head. After that, the trio then retrieve all the alien weapons, then even found a boom tube. Hey Drift, I got something for, said Ultraman, holding the alien box. Drift then has 10 ACLE-like appendages release from her sides, then connect to the boom tube. Interfacing connection activated, absorbing boom tube at 50%, said Drift. Ultraman smirks and Hiwanoshisha smile, or what looks like a smile. I just love it when Drift is able to absorb and upgrade herself with other technologies, said Ultraman. Yes, Drift sure is amazing, said Hiwanoshisha telepathically as both watch as the boom tube is absorbed into Drift. Absorption process complete, said Drift. Time skip. July 2010. Robin, Aqualad, and Kid Flash have just infiltrated Cadmus to find out what's truly going on, but the young sidekicks were unprepared for the genetic alien-looking creatures known as Genomorphs. The sidekicks also stumble upon 2 clones, one resembling the features of a young Superman and the other looking like a blonde Japanese male. Project Kerr and Project GN, clones of Superman and General Zod, said Robin as he finished reading their tubes. Do you think the big red no asked? Shocked Kid Flash. He couldn't believe that Cadmus created 2 cloned Kryptonians. Hell, he remember years back when there was a female clone of Supergirl. I doubt it. I doubt the League even can. OWS, said Robin. Each of the boys nod their head. Free them, Robin ordered Aqualad. Robin nods his head, unlocking their tube. Both Superboy and Ultraman open their eyes with both Kryptonians glaring at the 3 heroes. Superboy charges at Aqualad, sucker punching Aqualad in the face. Robin and Kid Flash are both shocked at Superboy attacking Aqualad. But before the 2 young sidekicks can anything, Ultraman open palms Kid Flash in the chest. He quickly turns around facing Robin. The clone of Zod then finger strikes Robin in the chest, causing him to fall back, knocking the sidekick of Batman and Flash out. Superboy then picks up Aqualad. Ultraman picks up Kid Flash and Robin. Both Kryptonians hear footsteps. They turn around, seeing Desmond and Guardian. Superboy, Ultraman bring them to the cloning tubes, ordered Desmond. Superboy then picks up Aqualad. Ultraman picks up Kid Flash and Robin. Both Kryptonians hear footsteps. They turn around, seeing Desmond and Guardian. Someone bring them to the cloning tubes. ordered Desmond as he walks away. He walks in front of the Kryptonian clones, not even bothered by each of their cold and emotionless look. Well, Superboy's cold look and Ultraman's emotionless look. Superboy looks towards the older Kryptonian. Ultraman gives him a reassuring look. "Let's go, Half-Blood," said Ultraman. Superboy nods his head. "Right. Be brother," said Superboy. Both clones of Superman and General Zod heading towards the cloning chambers. Which is ironic that both Superman and General Zod were enemies, but here the clones of the two say each other as brothers and not enemies. Hiwanoshisha, messenger of peace, then hops onto Naruto's shoulder. His horns glow red. Telepathic link online. Ultraman, what do you think will happen? And know that the sidekicks know of your existence and Superboy's? Asked Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman hums to himself, narrowing his cerulean blue eyes. To be honest, I have no clue, my friend, but it seems like whatever happens tonight happens. But I have a feeling everything is about to change tonight, don't you think, Hiwanoshisha? Asked Ultraman through his telepathic link. The Genome nods his head, agreeing with his friend. But Ultraman, just imagine if Cadmus had cloned Kid Flash, Robin, and Aqualad, said Hiwanoshisha. He knew if Cadmus had been able to clone the sidekicks, then Cadmus would have their own Justice League, but instead of the original, these clones wouldn't hesitate to kill. Ultraman knew what his small friend saying was true. The Light didn't just have clones but superpowered meta-humans like Claire. If Cadmus did clone them, then Project Justice League of America can commence, said Ultraman. Both knew the Light had more plans than just cloning him, Superboy, and all the other experiments. Hiwanoshisha nods his head. Era. Ah yes, plus they also have Project RX. I have heard they'd appointed him as the leader. The Light even has Project BB and D Project REFL. He's quite the skill one, don't you think, Ultraman? Asked Hiwanoshisha, looking at the sidekicks of Flash and Batman. He knew Cadmus wasn't creating clones, then they are creating metahumans. Ultraman has remembered those two, both clones by some of the deadliest and best martial artists. He also remembered when he first met Project Li. Flashback. 2 years ago. Desmond, Guardian, Amanda, and Ultraman are walking through the hallways. Desmond has his usual sinister grin. Guardian has straight face expression. Ultraman has a cold expression, not even minding the people worry expression as Ultraman passes by them. And Amanda Spence's curious face. The African-American woman looks towards the cruel doctor. Doctor, can you tell me where we're going exactly? Asked Amanda. The cruel doctor smirks darkly at Amanda. She raised an eyebrow at this. Guardian gave Desmond a questionable and suspicious look, and Ultraman looks he could care less, but he was actually listening to her. Desmond grins at her. Tell me, Dr. Spence, do you remember when Superman fought General Zod, Fora, and the other Kryptonians? And does the name Roland Willis and Angelina Willis ring any bells? Asked Desmond. Amanda blinks her eyes. How could she forget about when Zod and his soldiers came to Earth? They had almost destroyed Earth. She nods his head. Yes, I remember, and how can I forget about both Roland and Angelina Willis? Roland was a great politician that has renown for his understanding and his ability to always see both good and bad in people. And even though he was a Democrat, he never sided with one side. No, the man would actually hear both sides from the Democrat and Republicans. This had made the man quite favorable if the man wasn't just an understanding one. It was said he was even a greater father. His wife Angelina Willis, who was a radio DJ for Metropolis, she was also known for finding homes for homeless people. They said the two were going to make a deal with Bruce Wayne in Metropolis. Well, they were, until Superman and General Zod had destroyed the building, killing both Willis in the process. Supposedly their daughter Leslie was in Central City TA radio station talking about Superman. No one has heard from her for 2 years, said Amanda. Desmond hums to himself and nods to his head. Right, you are, doctor. She has disappeared. Many have looked for her during the past 2 years, but no one has been able to find her. After the second year they had just assumed her dead, while others to try to find the young radio DJ, said Desmond. Guardian raised an eyebrow at this. Desmond clearly knew something, but the man has yet indulged them in why he even brings it up. Doctor, why do you bring this up? Yes, I agree, their deaths and all other deaths is very tragic, but why bring it up, Dr. Desmond? Asked Guardian, giving the doctor a suspicious look. Desmond chuckles at the red-haired superhero. He turned his head, looking at Raman, who's either ignoring them or just decides to listen to them. He isn't really surprised that the clone of Zod hasn't asked any questions. He figured the clone just didn't care about the Willis family. Desmond then turns to Guardian. "Well, Guardian, I could tell you, but I really show you," said Desmond, causing Guardian to let out a huff. Ultraman then has a small smirk. He then turns to the yellow genome that's floating next to him. This genome isn't the same as the other genomes. While its skin is yellow, red stripes over its body, and has 4 horns, 2 on the front of its head, while the others are on the sides, giving it a demonic appearance instead of white. But this doesn't make the yellow genome different from the rest. No, what makes this genome so different is it has the blood of both Jason Blood and his counterpart Etrigan the Demon, and the blood of Morgan. The genome goes by Genome 1987. Not only did this give the genome incredible power of magic, but it has the powers of fire, water, earth, wind, and lightning. It also gained Etrigan's powers immortality. Since Genome 1987 has the blood of Jason Blood, it had gifted the magic hybrid the ability of not dying. Magic. Genome 1987 is knowledgeable in the field of magic, and is often called upon to act as an advisor or investigator in occult matters. Energy absorption. The hybrid can even tap into the Earth's piezoelectrical force to gain magical energy. Eldritch Blast. 1987 has projected magical beams unconsciously, and 1987 can use its power to either steal or set off a hand grenade the person might be holding. It even learned to use this in a deadly way by crushing the windpipe of its victim. Clairvoyance. 1987 was able to locate Ultraman's location even if he's on the other side of the world. 1987 was able to view Desmond in another location via the medium of a mirror. Summoning. 1987 can conjure a small dragon to deliver a written message or to use as a scout. The hybrid D can even create a homunculus servant from an inanimate figure in its own blood. Magic wards. 1987 is skilled at casting defensive spells. It can cast masking wards to stop other genomes from spying on it. Dimensional travel. 1987 can open portals to hell in any location of its choosing. Advanced magic. 1987 has demonstrated specific spells that defy scientific understanding. Razor magic. By saying, lances. Genome created a floor of spearheads as a defense. If this didn't make Genome 1987 powerful, it also has the powers of Morgan Le Fay, having the blood of a sorceress skilled in the use of black magic. It has cast spells that are able to control even the strongest of supernatural beings. It can even use its dark magic to make its victims be consumed by insanity until they die. Dimensional travel. It was able to transport Project REFL to another dimension, the Hell, and retrieve a powerful spell book by the demon Trigon, and has the ability of flight. GGNO. Me 1987 looks at Ultraman with its eyes glowing blood red. Ultraman, aren't you curious? Asked Genome 1987, whom has a feminine elegant voice. Ultraman shook his head negatively. Mentally, to be honest. No. Why yes, it sucks that this Leslie Willis went missing and her parents have died during Zod had attacked Superman. But I don't see why should I even really care, said Ultraman the Magic. Genome nods her head in an understanding tone. The hybrid just blink her horns staring at the General Zod clone. True, it might not have to do with you Ultraman, but you know what I don't get? Asked Genome 1987. Ultraman then shoots Genome 1987 a questionable look. And what might that be? 1987 asked Ultraman. I don't understand why Superman did try to have him and Zod fight in AD. IRT area voided of any life, but instead the two of them fought in Metropolis and Smallville. Do you know why? Asked 1987, whose head is tilted and is looking at Ultraman. Ultraman shrugged his shoulders. You know, I don't know. I mean, he could have fought Zod anywhere but for some reason choose to fight in heavy populated city, said Ultraman, not really understanding why the Man of Steel choose to fight Zod and the other Kryptonians in Smallville and Metropolis. Ultraman then shakes his head from those thoughts. Him. Genome 1987, the two doctors and hero continue walking with Ultra Man and Genome 1987 cutting off their telepathic link, not seeing the purpose to talk about something that isn't important. As the group walk down the hallway, they stop when each heard a loud thund, ring, roar, and a loud static discharge. This caused everyone to raise an eyebrow, catching everyone's attention except for Desmond, who's just smirking. This is what I wanted you all to see, state DA smirking Desmond. The doctor turns left raising his card. The door slides open. They are then greeted to a woman who has ghostly white and her hair turned blue. This woman wears a black leotard. She has a lightning bolt V-neck showing off her double B-cup breast. She wears black gloves reaching her elbows and black leggings going past her knees. This woman then shoots lightning from her fin. Gear tips. Amanda and Guardian widen their eyes looking at the young woman. Wait, she's Lucille Willis, said a shocked Guardian. Desmond smirks at the helmet-wearing hero. Right, you are Guardian. You see, during the past 2 years she has been here for a new project, said Desmond. Guardian looks towards Desmond with a raised eyebrow. And which project is that? I suppose this new project is he byproduct of her having lightning powers, asked Guardian. Desmond nods his head. Why yes, it is. She is Project Zack. While she was a normal human before, now she's a meta-human that posses Electroc. Inesis. Leslie has the ability to absorb, generate and project volumes of electrical energy of an extremely high voltage. She also has the ability to transform into living energy. In that form she can transmit herself through power lines. She has energy absorption. Electroblast. Lucille also uses an unusual application of which is the ability to act as a radio antenna as well as fire powerful blasts of electrical energy. Electromagnetism. As an application of electrokinesis, Lucille can also generate an electromagnetic field. While she was once known as Lucille, she is now known as Livewire. Now shall we greet the young lady, said Desmond. Him and the rest walk up to Livewire, who's creating an electromagnetic in her hands. She then hears footsteps behind her. The pale skin turns around seeing Desmond. Amanda Spence, Guardian, and Ultraman smirks at seeing the Kryptonian clone. She walks over meeting the group halfway. What's up, Doc? What's with the backup group? Asked Livewire. She got the response she wanted out of the African-American woman who has a what the fuck expression on her face. As for Guardian, the redhead man's eye is twitching viscosity at being called a backup group. But it seemed like her little jab had no effect on the clone of a general. Instead he just stared into her pale blue eyes with his own cerulean blue eyes. Seeing as she could get a reaction from the Kryptonian caused her to pout. Desmond laughs humorously at the expression of both Guardian and Amanda. He turns his head and smiles at Livewire. Nice to see you too, Livewire. How have you been? Asked Desmond. Livewire smirks at Desmond. Pretty good, Doctor, said Livewire. She then turns to Ultraman. I Blondie, ain't you gonna ask why I let Dr. Frankenstein experiment on me? Asked Livewire. She then sly grins at Ultraman while he stares down at her with a calm stoic expression. Ultraman raises an eyebrow at Livewire's attitude. He then shook his head, putting his left hand on his hip. Not really, it's not my business why you let Desmond experimented on you. After all, it's your business alone, and who am I to question your actions? Stated Ultraman. He then smirks at Livewire. The brunette grins at the blonde Kryptonian. Hey, you know, I think we're going to get along, grinned Livewire. She then extends her arm out. Ultraman gasp, her hand giving her a shake. True, who knows, maybe we'll have a mission together. I look forward to working with you, Livewire, said Ultraman. Likewise, Ultraman, said a smiling Livewire. Genome 1987 horns glowed blood red. It has seemed you have gained an ally, maybe even a friend, said Genome 1987 through the telepathic link. Ultraman mentally nods his head. Flashback end. After they had put the young heroes in the cloning chambers, they each decide to watch over the clones that have been knocked unconscious by the two clones of Superman and Zod. The sidekicks are awake and stare at both Superboy and Ultraman. Kid Flash glares at the two clones. What you want? Quit staring at me, it's creeping me out, yelled Kid Flash. Both Kryptonians glare at the young speedster. Robin then looks towards Kid Flash. Kid F might not want to piss the two guys off who can fry our faces off, said Robin. With Desmond is seen walking Amanda and Guardian, who each have a genome on their shoulder. Prepare the cloning tanks for the new project. Sidekicks now, ordered Desmond. Amanda then walks away from the angry doctor. Guard. Ian looks towards Desmond, then back at the door that Superboy had destroyed. Almost done, Doc. Desmond then walks into the room, seeing neither Project KR or Project GN in their sleeping tanks. Where's the weapons? Growled Desmond. Superboy and Ultraman took the sidekicks to the cloning chambers, said Guardian, informing the whereabouts on the two. Desmond turns towards Guardian with a Furious expression on his face. That's what we have the Genomes for. Get the weapons back in their pods, ordered Desmond. Guardian just raises his hands trying to calm the doctor. I don't see the harm letting the kids stretch their legs, said Guardian in calm manner. Desmond stares at Guardian void of any emotion. Don't you know, said Desmond with the Genome's horns glowing red. The Genome's horns glowed wide. Those clones belong in a cage, growled Guardian, who's being controlled with Superboy and Ultraman. The sidekicks stare down at the Kryptonian clones. We only tried to help you, said Aqualad in a calm, cool, collected voice, while Kid Flash just glares at the two. We only tried to help you and you turn on us. How's that for grat? Please be quiet now. I believe our new friends is not in full control in each of their actions, said Aqualad while Robin attempts to escape. What if I wasn't? Asked Superboy, staring at the three sidekicks. I was in full control, stated Ultraman. Kid Flash looks up in shock. They can talk, exclaimed Kid Flash. Superboy tightens his fist while Ultraman glares at the yellow and red costume-themed hero. Yes, he can, stated Superboy, glaring at the redhead. Ultraman then puts his hand over Superboy's shoulder. Ultraman glares at Superboy, giving the Ravenet a stern look. Brother, calm yourself. Don't let your emotions control, said Ultraman. Superboy looks down in embarrassment. Ultraman then gazes at Kid Flash. Besides, the Google-wearing boy is an idiot, said Ultraman with a smirk. Dude, he so got you, laughed the boy. Wonder. Dude, yelled Kid Flash, shooting a betrayal look. The Genomorph taught you telepathically, asked Aqualad, hoping to gain these two Kryptonians' trust. They taught me much. I can read, write, I know the name of things, said Superboy. I was created before by brother, but same with me. I was taught various things. I was even taught how to fight by someone in the light. I was taught how to use weapons, military strategy, tactics, and Kryptonian warfare, said Ultraman. But have you seen them? Have they actually let any of the two of you see the sky or the sun? Asked Robin. Yes, I have. They had sent me on various missions. I enjoy the sun. It feels amazing, said Ultraman. I have had images implanted in my mind, but no, unlike my brother. No, I haven't, said Superboy as he looks down at the floor. Do you even know what you are? Who you are? Asked Aqualad, looking down at the two in sadness. I am Superboy, a Genomorph made by the DNA of Superman, needed to replace him. Destroy him shall he fall from the light, said Superboy with nothing but confidence in his voice. And as for me, I am you, Ultraman, a Genomorph made from the DNA of the diseased General Zod. I was created to be the perfect soldier, the perfect Kryptonian, annihilate and kill anyone that has fallen from the light, said Ultraman. Aqualad then turns towards Superboy. To be like Superman is a worthy aspiration, but like Superman you deserve a life of your own beyond that solar suit, beyond your pod, beyond Cadmus, said Aqualad. We live because of Cadmus, it is our home, yelled Superboy in anger. Ultraman crosses his arms. Besides, this place has given me everything: life, power, weapons, and adopted brother. Even companions. Cadmus has given me special genome to go on missions with, said Ultraman, glaring at the Atlantean hero. Your home is a test tube. We show you the sun and freedom, said Robin. Kid Flash gives Robin a questionable look. I'm pretty sure it's after midnight, said Kid Flash, putting in his 2 cents. Aqualad smiles down at the two. We can introduce you to Superman, said Aqualad. Superboy looks in awe at meeting Superman while Ultraman narrows his eyes. No, they can't, said Desmond, walking with Guardian and Amanda. They'll be otherwise occupied. Activate the cloning process, ordered Desmond, looking towards Amanda. Past Batcave, bad enough, joked Robin. Desmond with a furious expression looks at Guardian. And get the weapons back in their pod, growled Desmond. Guardian then walks forward next to Superboy and Ultraman. Hey, how come he gets to call Sapi and Ultra and it? Complained Kid Flash. Guardian places his hand over Superboy's shoulder. Please help us, begged Aqualad. Desmond walks up to the two clones. Don't start thinking now, said Desmond as a genome hops onto Superboy's shoulder, its horn glow red, making both Kryptonians to stare at the small creature. Both Superboy and Ultraman gain a dazed-like look. Desmond steps in front of the two. You see, the both of you aren't even real boys. The both of you are weapons and both of you belong to me. Well, to Cadmus now, get back to your pods. ordered Desmond. Both Kryptonians then begin to walk back. After seeing the two leave, Desmond nods his head to Amanda. She presses in some buttons. A machine comes out, stabbing Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad in the chest, extracting their blood. Desmond looks towards Guardian. Where's XX? Asked Desmond. A tall Genomorph appears behind him. XX has the appearance of a tall, slender man with blue skin. His head is radically different from that of a human, most notably in the presence of horns and absence of a nose. He also has pointed, fin-like ears, and 2 ribbons of flesh, originating on his cheeks. He wears plain white hospital-like pants and a matching shirt. Lurking as usual. Get the genome downloading their memories, and when that's done make sure the clone's viable and delete the source material, ordered Desmond as he narrows his eyes. As the sidekicks yell in pain, Aqualad attempts to fight off the pain. Ultraman, Superboy, you live. That gives you the right to follow your own path, no weapon or person. The choice is yours, but ask yourself, what would superhero or any other hero do? Asked Aqualad. Down the hall both clones stop walking. Both narrow their eyes. The blonde Kryptonian looks towards Superboy. You thinking what I'm thinking? Asked Ultraman. Superboy nods his head. Ultraman smirks at this. Back in the cloning chamber, Ultraman rips the door off. Aqualad smiles at his saviors. XX, Desmond, and Guardian told you to get back to your... But before he can finish, Ultraman slapped the man, causing the doctor to fly across the room while Superboy pushes Guardian and XX out of the way. Ultraman sneers at the doctor. Don't give us orders, sneered Ultraman. The two then turn their attention towards the sidekicks. You here to free us or fry us? Kid Flash, hoping for the later. Superboy narrows his eyes, attempting to use his heat vision, but soon finds out he's unable to. He then looks towards Ultraman, whose eyes are red. Ultraman then destroys the cloning chambers. I could fry you, but I decided to help you instead, said Ultraman. Superboy looks dejected. How come I can't use heat vision? Asked Superboy. Ultraman shrugged his shoulders. I don't know, but we'll find out, said Ultraman, giving Superboy a reassuring smile. Robin then frees himself. Batman would have my head for taking so long, said Robin while gripping his wrist. Kid Flash looks at Robin with an unbelievable look. Seriously? That's what you're worried about? The whole league will have our heads after tonight, screamed Kid Flash. Robin walks over to the panel, presses a button that frees both Aqualad and Kid Flash. Free Aqualad, I'll get Kid Mouth, said Robin, looking towards Ultraman. The blonde nods his head, walking over to Aqualad, ripping off his restraints. Thank you, said Aqualad with his voice laced with gratitude. They run off, ignoring Desmond, who's ranting about putting them back in pods. After Robin destroys the tubes that has their blood, they run off. Desmond then orders the genome on his shoulder to activate all the genomes. We are still 42 levels before ground, but if we can make it to the elevator, said Aqualad. They then run into G-Trolls. Ultraman and Superboy smirk at each other. They uppercut the large Genomorph, sending it to the ceiling and back to the floor. One of the G-Trolls tries to crush the two, but Ultraman raises both of his hands. Robin then throws a smoke bomb. He then comes flying by with his grappling hook. The sidekicks see Superboy punching back a G-Troll while Ultraman freezes the ground, forcing the Genomorphs to trip. Ultraman heaps one of its legs and chucks it at another G-Troll. Ultraman, Superboy, our goal is to escape, not to bury ourselves here, said Aqualad, hoping to stop Superboy from getting them all buried alive. Superboy then glares back at the African Atlanteans. Hero, you want escape? Yelled an enraged Superboy. He grabs a G-Troll, throwing it at the other two, knocking them down. The sidekicks then find a way to the elevator. Robin uses his grappling hook, Kid Flash uses his speed, Aqualad grabs into Superboy as the two lift off, and Ultraman flies up upon seeing Superb Boy and Aqualad falling. He grabs onto Superboy's hand. You okay? Asked Ultraman. Superboy nods his head but looks saddened. Superman and brother can fly. Why can't I fly? Asked Superboy, not understanding. Don't know, but it looks like you can leap tall buildings in a single bound. Still cool, said Kid Flash with a smile. Thank you, said Superboy, looking towards Aqualad. Guys, this will have to be our exit, yelled Robin as an elevator is coming down on them. Ultraman kicks the door down. They then run down the hall as the Genomorphs are chasing after them. Turn left, B. Rother, said a mysterious voice in both Ultraman and Superboy's mind. Go left, said Superboy. They turn left then right, facing a dead end. Kid Flash looks at Superboy. Nice on CP, you tryna get us repotted? Exclaimed Kid Flash. Superboy looks down. No, I don't understand, said a confused Superboy. Robin then grins at both Kid Flash and Superboy. Hey, don't apologize, this is perfect, said the grinning boy wonder. They then enter the vents. At this rate we'll never get out, complained Kid Flash. Superboy quickly shushes Kid Flash. Shush, listen. Sigh. Superboy. They then see the genome coming at them. After getting out and Robin hacking the motion centers and Kid Flash put on his hell yeah I finally have room to move, said the grinning speedster. They then scale through the stairs. More behind us, yelled Robin looking back at Superboy and Ultraman. The Kryptonian duo then stomp on the steps breaking it. As they finally get to the next level, the door closes on Kid Flash. Both Superboy and Ultraman attempt to break through the door. They are then surrounded by the Genomorphs. All the horns of the genome glowed red. EX then enters the room. Perhaps for the sake of all Genomorphs, our brothers Superboy and Ultraman should feel at home. Mind. Ultraman then glares at EX. So the fire and them coming here was all you? Why have you been talking to us really? Asked Ultraman. Because you and Superboy are our only hope, the Genomorph hope. You two will blaze a trail for all our brothers and sisters to freedom. Aid EX as he talks to both Kryptonians through a telepathic link. Guardian then shakes his head as the genome jumps off his shoulder. He then holds onto his head. What's going on? Groaned Guardian. Aqualad raises up from the ground looking at both Superboy and Ultraman as the duo stand up. What is your choice, brothers? Asked EX. I choose freedom, said both Kryptonian. Clone with determination and conviction in the voices. Feels fog lifting, said Guardian. The rest of the sidekicks get up. Aqualad then looks towards Guardian. Guardian, said Aqualad. Guardian has a serious expression. Go. I'll deal with Desmond, said Guardian. I think not, said the cruel doctor appearing behind them. He then lifts up a vial. Project Blockbuster will give me power to restore order back at Cadmus, stated Desmond. He then drinks the serum within the vial. Desmond then transforms into a hulking monster. His skin rips off. The now transformed Desmond roars like a beast. He now has dark gray-blue skin with his skin ripped apart and has red and black eyes. Desmond then grins at the young heroes. Guardian tries to attack the now transformed Blockbuster, but he just smacks Guardian with his right arm, sending the hero back. Superboy goes for a right hook, punching the beast. Blockbuster then hits Superboy back on the head. Ultraman flies at Blockbuster, giving him two open palms strike. He then gives the monster a powerful side kick. Both Kryptonians double team the monster with both furiously pounding away at him. Blockbuster grabs Ultraman's leg, swings him at Superboy. Ultraman gets off of Superboy. He then jumps at Blockbuster. The giant monster jumps at him. Both are then crashing through the ceilings. Blockbuster then throws Superboy at Ultraman. He then catches him. Each eye heroes glare at the large behemoth. Kid Flash slides under him, making the brainless beast look towards him. He then looks back and is greeted to the receiving end of Ultraman's, Superboy's, and Aqualad's fist. The monster then trips over Kid Flash. He then grins down at Blockbuster. Learn that one in kindergarten, said Kid Flash. Robin jumps over Kid, throwing his bird rangs at Blockbuster. He blocks it with his arm. Ultraman then punches Blockbuster in the stomach. He then karate chops Blockbuster in the ribs, causing the monster to buckle back. Blockbuster then grabs Ultraman, attempting to crush him, but Ultraman hits the creature with his super breathe, blowing him back. He then claps his hand, creating a thunder clap, slamming Blockbuster on the floor. Aqualad uses his magic to form two water tentacles, wraps them around Blockbuster legs, forcing the monster to be lifted from the air. Superboy jumps up, kneeing Blockbuster in the face. Blockbuster quickly recovers, grabs onto Superboy's face and slams him into the ground. He then kicks the clone of Superman into one of the pillars. He then charges at Aqualad and Ultram. And Aqualad creates a water hammer while Ultraman tightens his fist. They both charged at him. But Blockbuster heaps onto Aqualad's other arm and flinging him at Ultraman, making both Kryptonian and Atlanteans to slam against a pillar. He then continues his assault on the two. Robin then looks up from his scene. Of course, KF, get over here, ordered Robin. Superboy and Ultraman hits him from both sides, with Superboy punching his back and Ultraman hitting him with heat vision. He then grabs the two, slamming them against a pillar. On Robin's gauntlet, his 3D image of the pillars. Got it? Asked Robin. Got it, said Kid Flash. He then rushes at Blockbuster, who has Superboy above his head. Kid Flash, he then pushes him. Got your nose, joked the speedster. Blockbuster attempts to smash him, but Flash quickly avoids him. Superboy, Ultraman, Aqualad, yelled Robin, showing them the pillars. Come and get it, taunted Kid Flash. The three heroes then continue to destroy the pillars. Aqualad uses his guns to hit the floor with water. The speedster slides into the water once Blockbuster attempts to charge at Kid Flash. Ultraman gives him a spinning kick to the face. Aqualad then electrocutes Blockbuster. Move, ordered Robin as his bird rangs blow the pillars apart, crushing Blockbuster. With the top buildings, both Superboy and Ultraman shield them from the crumbling building. Both Superboy and Ultraman free them. We did pant it, said Aqualad, who's glad it's finally over. Robin grins at Aqualad. Was there ever any doubt, said a panting Robin. See the moon, said Kid Flash as everyone looks at the moon. Both Kryptonians narrow their eyes, seeing something in the distance. The two then notice it being Superman. And Superman, don't we keep our promises or what? Said Kid Flash. Then the rest of the Justice League fly down with the Man of Steel. Both Superboy and Ultraman step up. They both lifted their ruined solar suit, showing off the S and Z emblem. Superman widens his eyes at this. He then narrows his eyes at Ultraman. Is that what I think it is? Said Batman. Both Superboy and Ultraman glared at the Dark Knight. They don't like being called an it, whispered Kid Flash. Both Superboy and Ultraman glared at the Man of Steel and Bat of Gotham. I'm Superman's clone, declared Superboy with conviction. Ultraman crosses his arms. And I'm the clone of General Zod, said Ultraman, with his tone being nothing but proud. This shocked everyone, not accepting the young boys to be the clones of General Zod and Superman. Batman just narrows his eyes. Start talking, ordered Batman in his cold, stoic voice. After some of the members leave, the other discuss what to do. Superman then walks in. Fro. NT of Superboy and Ultraman, we'll figure something out for the both of you. The League will for now. I better make sure they get that Blockbuster creature away, said Superman, flying off. Cadmus will be investigated all 52 levels, but let's make one thing clear, you should have called, said Flash. Symptom, interrupting Batman. The Dark Knight narrows his eyes. End results. We are not happy. You hacked Justice League systems, disobeyed direct orders, and endangered lives. You will not be doing this again, said Batman in a stern look. The young heroes look at each other. I am sorry, but we will, said Aqualad. Aquaman stares at his sidekick. Aqualad, stand down, ordered Aquaman. Apologies, my king, but no. We did good here tonight, the work you trained us to do. Toge there on our own forged something powerful, important, declared Aqualad. The three of you, is this about your treatment at the hall? Asked Flash. Kid Flash glares at his mentor. The five of us, and it's not, said Kid Flash. Robin then steps up. We're ready for what you taught us. If not, then why teach us at all, said Robin, looking at Batman. Ultraman then snickers. Why the hell should we let them tell us what to do? It's either allows us to do what we need to do or get the hell out of our way, said Ultraman in a cold tone. Superboy smirks at this. It's just like my brother says, said Superboy. Mount Justice, July 8th, 8:04. Batman, Flash, Shazam, Aquaman, Black Canary, Red Tornado, and Hawkgirl are standing around the young heroes, who are in civilian clothes. Is Cave was the original secretary of the Justice League. We're calling it in service again. Since you five are determined to stay together and fight the good fight, you'll do it on League terms. Red Tornado volunteered to live here and be your supervisor. Black Canary is in charge of training. I will deploy you on missions, said Batman. Real missions? Asked Robin. Yes, but convert, said Batman. The League will still handle the obvious stuff. There's a reason why we have these big targets on our chest, said the grinning Flash. But Cadmus proves the bad guys are getting smarter. Batman needs a team that can operate on the side, said Aquaman, looking at Batman. The six of you will be that team, said Batman. Robin grins at this. Cool. Wait, six? Asked a confused Robin. They then turn around, seeing Martian Manhunter walking with a younger girl who has green skin and red hair. This is Martian Manhunter's Miss Martin, said Batman. Hi, said Miss Martin. Everyone stares at her. Ultraman walks away, hearing what needed to be heard. He waves to his new team member. He walks over to the other side of the room, staring his 25 Genomorphs. He smiles towards Hiwanoshisha and the rest. He then rubs the back of his head. There are 4 G-dwarves or Genomorph 0707 or a type of Genomorph engineered by Cadmus or tentacled worker drones. They are short, heavy-set creatures and their tentacles have a razor-sharp pincher. Unlike most of their kind, these 3 have mud-water brown skin. The reason for this is because they were created with Clayface's genes. Their 5 of the G-sprites are Genomorph 0424 or a type of are genetically engineered to have the power to constantly emit electricity. Thanks to Cadmus, the G-sprites have the DNA of Killer Fro. Saint and Livewire integrated into themselves, increasing their electricity abilities and granting them cryokinesis. They have ice blue skin and dark blue patterns. There are 5 G-trolls have been infused with the power of Dr. Light, giving them the power of photokinesis. There are 5 Genome who, just like Genome 1987, have the DNA of Jason Blood and Morgan Le Fay. There are 4 G-elves. G-elves are Genomorph 0777 or a type of Genomorph. When fully grown, the elves are the size of the G-elves. I would have to say increase their speed and the ability to camouflage themselves from almost everything. There is 1 G-goblin. G-goblins are more humanoid than the other Genomorphs. They are thin and lanky, and stand upright with their hind legs. A G-goblin shares the whitish-gray skin colo R and red eyes of the Genomorphs, but this one has green skin. It has short horns that glow red when they use their powers. G-goblins seem to have a single long whisker that runs down from the cheeks. This Genomorph has been created with the blood of a Marten. By having Marten blood flowing through his veins has increased its telepathic power, gain shapeshifting and flight. Genome 1987. S horns glowed red. Is something the matter? Asked Genome 1987 in a worried tone. Ultraman massages his forehead. Yes, something is wrong. Only Haiwanoshisha has a name and the rest of you don't, growled Ultraman. Each of the Genomorphs looked on in shock. G-dwarf 0705 horns glowed red. Wait, are you saying? Asked G-dwarf 0705. Ultraman man nods head. Yes, I'm giving you all names. G-dwarf 0705 step up. You're first, said Ultraman as G-dwarf 0705 steps in front of the General Zod clone. He rubs his hand against his chin. G-dwarf 0714 your name will be Noborishiro, Rising Castle. Okay, now G-dwarf 0702 step up. Your name will be Rababe, River Bay. 0710 you're next and your name is Kaigansen, Coastline. Now G-dwarf, it's your turn buddy. Supsu, Space. He then looks towards his Genomorph friend G-goblin 0683. I know the perfect name will be Baransu, Balance, said Naruto. He then watches as the now named Baransu. He then turn his attention towards the G-elves. Okay, G-elf 0775 your name shall be Akame, Red Eye. G-elf 0771. How about Radohazu, Loud House? G-elf 0770 you will be known as Hadogarasu, Hard Glass, said Naruto. He then looks toward another Genomorph. G-elf 0773 your name is now Shironoju, White Noise, said a grinning Ultraman. He then turns towards the G-trolls and smile up at them. Hey G-troll 2996, I know what I should name you. Your name is now Tafaranga, Tough Bricks. G-troll 2994 you will now be Ishitabaredo, Stone Tablet. G-troll 2920 you are now Suchirusuken, Steel Skin. G-troll 2933 your name is Dosei, Saturn. And G-troll you are Korudohan, Cold Horn. Naruto then looks towards the G-sprites. Seeing it's their turn, they fly up to Ultraman. G-sprite 0424 you are now Denshi, Electronic. G-sprit E0411 you are Tokatsushizen, Freezing Nature. G-sprite 0423 your new name is Wasupu, Wasp. G-sprite 0428 your name is Kajtenshi, Shadow Angel. And G-sprite you are now Kabutomushi, Blood Beetle, said a grinning Ultraman. He then finally turned his attention on the 5 Genomes. Genome you will be first to be given a name and you name Kuwarian, Black Lion. Genome 0666 you will be known as Shiroishi, White Death. Genome 0911 you are Larobertsu, Yellow Blitz. Genome 1991 you are now Akai Katamari, Red Mass, and you Genome will be known as Sosu, Sauce, said Ultrama. And so what do you all think of your new names? Asked Ultraman, looking at Genomorphs hoping they liked their new names. Each of their horn glowed red. We like them. Thank you Ultraman for giving us our own names, said Baransu, smiling at Naruto. Naruto smirks back. Haiwanoshisha nods his head. Yes, I think one of your friends say this is a good day, said Haiwanoshisha with his voice aced with happiness and proud. Ultraman smiles at this. Cadmus. Cloning chambers. The destroyed clone's chambers is smoking with flames everywhere. But out of nowhere a water wave swerves through He destroyer chamber as it is a mind of its own, but within the water stream is a white sea serpent. As the two swerve through the wreckage they each stop when they are in front of the 3 tanks that held the blood of Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. They look at the tanks of Robin and Kid Flash but notice it has been totally destroyed, but they see the tank of Aqualad and notice there is still blood left. Brother, the other 2 are destroyed, but it seems like Aqualad's tank have survived, but will they be happy knowing that both tanks are destroyed and there's barely any blood within Aqualad's tank? Asked the white sea snake in a feminine voice. No, they won't, but they'll be happy that at least one of tanks isn't completely destroyed, said the water in a male voice. The water street arts shrinking while the snake starts to grow. Once they finished growing and shrinking, 2 male and female have taken the place of the water wave and snake. The male is 5 feet 7 and the female is 5 feet 5 each. As peach pale skin, they each have brown yellow colored eyes. Both have the appearance of a 17-year-olds. They both have ice white hair. The male has a ponytail bun with the sides shaved off, while Hi's sister has a bop hairstyle with 3 braids on the left side of her face. The twins are wearing Kevlar-like bodysuit. Both suits are black, purple, and gold. In the middle of the female chest is AJ while the male has AZ. Both of their emblems are yellow. The upper torso, arms, and to the lower part of the torso are black in color. Both have fingerless gloves. The middle of the torso is purple in color. The has yellow lines running across his black gloves. They a giant yellow diamond in the middle of the torso. The female has long black skin-tight boots that reached her upper thigh. And 2 yellow gold bar lines at the end of her. Brother has black boots reaching his knees. The male raises his hand. The blood levitates to the male. The female then pulls out a small jar. The male then commands the blood to go in the jar. Come on, sister, we must inform the light, said the male as he walks away with his sister not far behind him. Yes, of course, brother, said the female. The 2 then make it to a room. They are faced with the white-out faces of light. L1 then glares at the 2 twins. Report ordered in a cold tone. Both nods their head. Yes, of course. L1 while going through the destroyed cloning chambers, we found the blood of both Robin and Kid Flash were completely destroyed. But it seemed like the tank of Aqualad's wasn't completely destroyed. We were able to save some of the blood, said the male. His sister raised the jar that contains the blood, but the blood is halfway at the top. This all we could salvage, said the female as she bows her head. Each of the light stares at them, but it is fortunate that all 3 tanks weren't destroyed, but their win tonight shall be our success in the future, said L2. L3 grins at the 2. Yes, I must agree with my colleague here. We're grateful there was still something to even save the light. Thanks you, Zan and Jaina, said L3. Thank you, I am pleased you're pleased, said both Zan and Jaina. Now Project Sea King can commence. Zan, Jaina, do the 2 of you know your mission? Asked L1. Jaina nods her head. Yes, well, the Wonder Twins shall eliminate, said Jaina anyone who has fallen from the light, said Zan. While Superboy and Miss Martian stayed inside the cave, Ultraman had decided he was not going to be in the cave until his next mission. No, instead he felt the cave and flew to Metropolis. He expected that they won't get a mission for a few weeks. So that's what he decided to do, leave the cave and see what's the deal with the villains in Metropolis. Ultraman then allows a small smirk to appear on his whiskered face. This feels amazing. It's been a while since I've been outside. I could not stand being in that cave. While I do care for Superboy, I need fresh air, said Ultraman in a stoic tone. I must agree with you, Ultraman. Besides, Batman had never said you can't go and see the cities yourself, said Hiwanoshisha as he speaks Oh, Naruto telepathically. While the Genomes are used to have to being inside all the time, Ultraman isn't, since he enjoys being bathed in the sun's light, which is due to his Kryptonian physiology absorbing the solar radiation. So Hiwanoshisha and the other Genomes understood him wanting to be in the daylight. But I am curious about something, asked Hiwanoshisha in curiosity. And that is? Asked Ultraman as he flies by a train. Hiwanoshisha's eyes become narrow. Why have you brought Kajtenshi and Kabutomushi with you, Ultraman? Normally you would bring myself or Baransu with you. So it caught my attention, asked Hiwanoshisha, who's at the cave reading the Stephen King book The Shining. Ultraman then glances at both Kajtenshi and Kabutomushi. I brought them with me because the G sprites are mostly used as a life source battery and they can be more useful than being some battery, stated Ultraman. Thank you Ultraman for bringing us with you, said Kijtenshi in a blank tone. Not only have you gave us our own name but even gave us a better purpose than what Cadmus might have for us, and for that we are eternally grateful to be of use to you Ultraman. Sigh. D. Kabutomushi in a tone between elegant and stoic. Ultraman nods his head in recognition. He then comes to a halt. Both Kijtenshi and Kabutomushi stop and turn back to their master. Friend, what is it Ultraman? You hear someone? Asked Kijtenshi. Ultraman nods his head. Yes, just south of here. There must be bank robbery. Let's go. Ordered Ultraman. He, Kijtenshi, and Kabutomushi speed off. Both Kijtenshi and Kabutomushi are then encased in a bright blue lightning. With them covered in lightning, it allows Genomorphs to be able to follow the General Zod clone. While Superboy had Joe in the team to be a hero like Superman, I joined for a different reason. Mine was to be free. I didn't want to be created a tool for Cadmus, and I didn't want to be a hero like Superman or a villain like Zod. I didn't want to be a bright shiny example of hope or a dictator who'll make those kneel to me. No, I'm not even pure as Superboy, Supergirl, or Superman. My hands are tainted with blood of both innocent and evil. And to be honest, I know I wasn't created to replace Superman if he fell to the light. No, my reason for being created was to simply kill Superman or any member of the Justice League if they ever went rogue. I am in all sense of word a metahuman assassin, but I don't want that. I won't be there for Superboy. He is my only family, while he could be considered the brother of Super-M. And the cousin of Supergirl, but Superman looks at brother with distrust, and I'm pretty sure Supergirl isn't even aware we exist, so as far as I am concerned, him and I are the only family we got. Yes, that's right, it's Superboy and Ultraman. But I've been thinking lately, ever since that night Superboy and I were free from our prison, I had gave each of Genomes a name for themselves. While I do not have one of my own, I'm not sure why I gave each of them a Japanese name. Maybe it's because have all the Japanese literature I have read and all the longs that were put on my head. And I have the perfect name to give myself. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto translated to Maelstrom, and Uzumaki I believe, which means whirlpool, thought the name Naruto. Flashback. 2 years later. Inside of a training room is the Kryptonian assassin, who's standing with a stoic blank expression on his face. Standing in front of him is L2, also known as Ra's al Ghul, and Deathstroke the Terminator. Within the corner of the room is a blue kryptonite with the sapphire rock. It glows bright blue. Due to the blue rock, it disabled Ultraman's powers, thus leaving him in a mortal state. Ra's al Ghul is a tall and daunting man with green eyes. He has black hair with gray streaks. He has a long black mustache and wild, black eyebrows. He dresses in a regal manner, with the majority of his clothes covered by a high-collared green cloak with large gold buttons. Underneath, he wears a black vest with gold hems, a white undershirt, and a golden sash. He wears black pants and knee-high black boots. Deathstroke is a tall, slender man, with long white hair, and a full beard. He is missing his right eye, and wears an eye patch, while the remaining eye is armor is primarily black and gray. With goldenrod greaves and gauntlets. He wears a matching goldenrod mask with a black area that obscures the right half of his face, including his missing eye. He wears a utility belt with pouches and sheaths for a sword and staff on his back. You know why we are here, correct, assassin? Asked Ra's with a tone of stoic and having a natural aura of authority which would make sense. Say for all the wisdom and leadership the man has, thanks to him being the leader of League of Shadows. Ultraman nods his head. Yes, I do. I was brought here of the ordered by the light. You and everyone want me to learn how to actually fight, unlike Superman who just throws a punch. The light wants a warrior, an assassin able to kill someone 40 different ways, said Ultraman. Deathstroke turned towards Ra's. It seems like this clone is aware what Cadmus wants, stated Deathstroke. Ultraman nods his head in agreement. Underneath Deathstroke mask he gains a sly smile. Both Ra's al Ghul and D myself will be training you in assassination, combat, swordplay, and marksmanship. And they have hired me to create the perfect weapon. But before we start we must see what you could do, said Deathstroke with the voice interest. Ra's al Ghul coughs in his hand, gaining the attention of both soldier and genetic clone child of the infamous Drew Zod. With both having each of their attendee on, he then turned his focus on Ultraman. But we would like to test you first to see where you stand, assassin, said Ra's in a polite yet demanding tone. Zan, Liverwire, and the mysterious Phantasm Walk in the room. Deathstroke unsheath his katana and hands it to Ultraman. But to see where you stand you will first have to face these three at once, said Deathstroke. Phantasm's suit is reminiscent of the Grim Reaper, complete with a smoke-generating device and scythe-bladed gauntlet. The cowl of the suit is dark gray. Both the cowl and the cape are made out of a paracape that aerodynamically supported himself for gliding. The mask itself is made out of titanium and promethium. The design of the mask is a skull. The mask also has a voice alteration. The black body suit is made of hardened plates on titanium-dipped tri-weave fibers and was broken into multiple pieces of armor over a more flexible bodysuit for greater mobility. The gloves were made of a dense but malleable lead, her with ribbing on the palm side of the fingers, raised piping, and convex metal knuckles on the top side. The glove is also gray in color, while the claw is made out of promethium and dipped with lead. The hook also has a grappling hook engineered into it. The great boots are also gray. Liverwire aka Leslie Willis grins at Ultraman in a cheeky smile. Well, Ultraman didn't having to fight me, huh? Grinned Livewire as she encased her fingertips in a bright lightning. Ultraman shook his head negatively. No, I did not, Willis, said Ultraman in a cold tone. He then turns towards a pale-skinned metahuman who just looks at him with an empty cold look. We have never met. My name is Zan. I will be your training partner today, said Zan. I'm sure you are aware this fight won't be easy, correct? Asked Phantasm. Ultraman nods his head. Yes, of course. With that kryptonite here I can't use any of my powers, thus leaving me as strong as a regular human. But just like Death Stroke had said, this is a test, but a test that was ordered by the light. It is my job to serve light, and if that means fighting like a human, then so be it. After all, I am supposed to be the end of the League if they were to go rogue, especially if Superman goes rogue. It's my mission to end him, said Ultraman. Phantasm just stood with a blank Aurora. She understood he might be as strong as a man, but he still has the various of fighting styles programmed into his mind. Very good, Ultraman, let the test begin, said Ra's al Ghul, and as if a switch went off, Livewire acted quickly. She sent a powerful blast of lightning from her hands, electrifying Ultraman, thus sending him to the wall. Phantasm quickly jumps in action, creating a blinding mist. Due to all his powers being cut off, he's forced to rely on his natural senses, but this does him no good as he is hit against the side of his face with the blunt side of the hook. He's then forced to deal with an unseen uppercut to Hi's chin. Within a state of daze, she tosses him over her shoulder. Ultraman bites his lip, refusing to let out a scream of pain as he's treated to a 30-volt lightning punch to the gut, sending the clone of Zod crashing into the ceiling. Livewire then hurls lightning balls at him, electrifying him in mid-air as he finally hits the ground. Zan turns his left into a giant water whip. He then wraps his water whip around Ultraman's waist. Ultraman's eyes then become wide with shocks as he's ragdolled across the room. He then grunts in pain as he's slammed left, right, up, and down. Zan then brings Ultraman to his face and looks coldly at him. Pity, isn't it? It has seemed you have failed, Ultraman, and failure is looked down upon, said Zan in a clone flats tone. Ultraman then stares at him coldly. I am not a failure, said Ultraman. He then grabs hold of the pale teen's head and slams his skull onto Zan's own head. Zan, the dazed teen, then released Ultraman. Upon seeing him dazed, gives a 4-jab punch to him back. He then gives Zan a high kick to the side of his face. He then ducks as Phantom clashed at him. She then open palms Ultraman. He's then rocket back by a small machine slapped on his chest. He then removes himself with the wall. Phantasm charges at him. The Kryptonian rushes at her with the sword draw. Both clash against each other with sparks flying off as the two blades meet. He then pushes her in the jaw and hit her in the face with the blunt of the sword. He then lifts her up in the air, tosses her at Zan, who catches her. He then glares daggers at Livewire. But with Zan taking a form of mist, he turns his body into a water giant, capturing him in a headlock. It's over. Do it, ordered Zan. Livewire turns herself to the element of pure lightning. She zaps towards Zan, the hydrokinet then encased in an orb of water. Livewire then turns her arms into lightning and grabs hold of Ultraman's head, sending high voltage to his head, but with him being a water sphere. Ultraman looks at Livewire with rage. He then snarls in pain. He then drops his sword and grabs onto the clothing of Zan's clothes. This is nothing, roared an Ultraman in pain. He pushes Zan onto Livewire, shocking the two as the water gets on the hydrokinetic and the electrokinesis are then left wing in pain by the very lightning Livewire uses. He then thrusts the very deadly blade into their shoulder. He then walls past the two and glares at Phantasm. Shesh then raises her right hand. She then shots multiple smoke pellets at him, blinding him. He then grits his teeth. In anger and pain as she had launched her hook hand at his chest, she then yanks it back as he's in her personal space. She gives him a clean yet dirty sucker punch, sending him back to the harsh ground. Phantasm then drop heals his chest. She then point the blade down to his face. Ultraman glares at her. He grabs onto her ankle and gives it an intense grip in a death grip fashion. He then, with the strength he could in his mortal state, throws her off and begins to ruthlessly punches down on the masked assassin in a savage way. She then swipes at her, cutting to his jawline and nose, then knees high. M in the gut grabs him by the neck, her claw to his neck, but Ultraman's widen as he looks down at her right hand and sees the bombs. That's enough, we've seen what we need. Correct, Roz? Asked the one-eyed man. He then turned towards Roz, who has a neutral expression. Roz Al Ghul nods his head with his arms crossed. I agree, you are talented, but I believe you have never been properly trained. Why? Oh, you aren't as skilled, but that is besides the point. This test was not made to see if you can fight off and win against 3 highly skilled individuals. No, this test was to see where you stand, but it seems like your mind might know the various of fighting styles but your body can't react, said Roz. He then walks over to the kneeling Zan and Livewire and yanks the blade, not even minding the pain of Livewire. Ubu. Take Zan and Willis to the healing chamber, ordered Roz. His servant walks in the room. Ubu has an imposing physique. He is large, muscular, and has large fists. He is bald, has bulging eyes, and wears an earring in his left ear. He wore light green pants, unadorned black boots, a white shirt with laces across the chest, and black bands around his wrists and waist. Ubu nods his head and grabs both Zan and Livewire. Deathstroke stares at Ultraman with an unreadable expression. It seems like those tiny creatures aren't as useful as we had originally thought. Of course, true training is only mastered by training your body till it's broken, then rebuilt once again, said Deathstroke. He then grabs hold of his sword and sheathed his blade. But I muse. T agree with Roz, you are very promising. Besides Roz, or I didn't expect you to someone defeat the 3, said Deathstroke. He then gives Deathstroke a slight bow. Yes, of course, Deathstroke. I am to please the light. If they wish for me to be an instrument of destruction, then so be it. I shall be the light's blade of Excalibur and the shield of Hercules. After all, I am a clone of a general, said Ultraman with his voice covered in coldness and devoid of any emotion. And it is our job to make you are crafted into an unbreak sword and shield. No, it's time to begin. Your training begins now. Prepare yourself, assassin. You will learn how the League of Shadows fight, said Roz. He then hands Ultraman a sword. Roz unsheathed his swords and glares at Ultraman. Both the demon he and an assassin Kryptonian runs towards each other with each of their respectable swords clashing their blade. Roz swipes left. He blocked the blade with his own. He then kicks Ultraman's knee, causing him to buckle back. Roz then slashes at Ultraman, leaving his shoulder with a deep cut. Roz then stabs Ultraman in the ribs. He quickly yanks the sword out of Ultraman, then stab him in his shoulder. A's then kick him in the face and grabs the sword from Ultraman and places it on his shoulder, causing the blonde-haired alien to bleed. Roz Al Ghul glares down at Ultraman with a cold expression. Assassin, concentrate. You will need to focus. We have lots to work on, but the first thing we must work on your body, said Roz. Ultraman pants in exhaustion with blood rolling off of his mouth. Body? What do you mean? Asked Ultraman. We must train your body up. While you do no other fighting styles, your body can't perform them. But with my help we can turn your body into a deadly weapon, said Roz. Teach me, said Ultraman. Roz just nods his head. Very well, said Roz Al Ghul. Flashback end. I remembered all the vigorous training both Roz Al Ghul and Deathstroke put me through. Every single cut and bullet I was forced to deal with was hell. Sure, after each training was over they would remove the blue kryptonite, allowing my body to absorb the radiation own the sun with his powers returning back to me. My body would repair itself and then the training would start all over again. Hiwanoshisha, you remembered every time I would return back from training, right? Asked Ultraman. Hiwanoshisha mentally nods his head. Yes, I remembered. Every time you would return back, your solar suit you wore would be ruined and you would be covered in blood. Am honestly surprised you didn't black out from bloodlust, thought Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman released a sigh. He then narrows his eyes. I'm more surprised I was able to even walk back. After all nearly all of my bones are broken but my training work. By the end of my training I was the perfect assassin, but those days of being someone's weapon is long over, thought Ultraman. But he LD also remembered all the times he would have Claire Selton aka Volcana help him because the strain his body suffer has just too much. She was one of his first friends. Of course at first he didn't see that he just saw her another tool of Cadmus, and the light he slowly start to grow on her. She became someone who he could trust. She was different than all of the metahumans from all the other CL ones and metahumans that Cadmus had developed, but the hero can't help but to wonder where she is right now. Hiwanoshisha's eyes glowed red. Even though he's not with the newly named Naruto, he could tell his mind is somewhere else. Naruto, you must stay focused. I know you can't help but you know as he do Claire is mostly somewhere she could have fun and most likely not deal with people like Desmond again, stated Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman allows a small smile to graze his face. Not only that, but she never liked Desmond. She got along with everyone besides Desmond. But thanks Hiwanoshisha, thanked Ultraman. It is no problem. Now that we are freed from Cadmus we can be anyone we want to. Like us genomes don't have any freedom, but now that we've joined this team, we have freedom and no longer saves, and instead of you going on missions that satisfies Cadmus and both the light, we going on missions to help the world, said Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman nods his head. I might be going on missions for someone again, but at least the missions will be for a better cause. But first let's see how this team is actually. But I will never be anyone's weapon ever again, said Ultra. But with incredible speed he passes Ultraman, Kujtenshi, and Kabutomushi are flying above Metropolis Bank. Ultraman narrows at the man below him. Destroy IMG everything in sight and just wreck the cops that are attempting to restrain him. On the ground is a man. This man reaches 8 feet 5 in height. He has short blonde hair and blue eyes. This man is shirtless. He wears a black Kelver pants and military boots. This person is Repo Man, also known as Jesse. Ultraman then flies down. Repo Man drops the cop and glares at Ultraman. Who are you supposed to be? Questioned Repo Man, glaring his blue eyes at the masked wearing hero. Ultraman narrows his eyes at Repo Man. The name is Ultraman. Now surrender yourself, ordered Ultraman with a cold tone. Repo Man stares down at Ultraman. He then begins to laugh at him. Ahaha, way. Could a brat like why you do against me? I've taken on Superman. Ahaha, yelled Repo Man in pain as he crashed through the door. What the hell? Groaned Repo Man, gripping his chest in pain as he's blasted back by heat vision. Ultraman's eyes glowed a bright red. Well, it's a good thing I'm a Kryptonian, said Ultraman. He then pulls out his negative Astro Blaster and points it at Repo Man. Repo Man glares at Ultraman. What are you? Superman's sidekick, roared Repo Man, but this had learned him an energy blast to the chest. I am not Superman's sidekick. I am no one's sidekick, and I am not his brother or cousin, said Ultraman. Kabutomushi, Kujtenshi Formation Delta, thought Ultraman. Right, said Kabutomushi. Understood, Naruto. We're ready when you are, said Kujtenshi. Ultraman runs behind the Goliath of a man. He gives him a full blast kick to the back. Crunching sound could be heard. He then open palms him in mid-air, sending him flying in the sky. He then begins to point his blaster at the Repo Man and blasting him in the sky. Kabutomushi eyes glowed bright blue. The flying GG gnome then fires ice projectiles at Repo Man, nailing him with hard ice objects. Kujtenshi then flies on the opposite side of Kabutomushi and fires powerful orbs of lightning. Kabutomushi then ins and like aura around himself, and Kujtenshi is then encased in lightning. The two sends powerful blast of ice and lightning at him. The three stop their assault, allowing Repo Man to fall to the ground. Ultraman then watches as the large man shrunk down to a size of a man who's 5 feet 6. He then turned to the officer. Here you go, said Ultraman. He then flies off. Brother, we're about to leave the cave and ride in Miss Martian's ship, said Superboy, talking to Ultraman through the comm. All right, I'll be there, said Ultraman. Flies off, but he's then stopped a female. The female in front of him is Supergirl. You're Supergirl, aren't you? Stated Ultraman. You're Kryptonian. But how? Asked Supergirl. She's wearing her new 52 clothes. Ultraman sighs at the blonde. I don't have time for this. Muttered Ultra. He then speeds off, passing by the daughter of Krypton. Location: Mount Justice. Recognize, Ultraman B05. Said THR computer. Superboy then glances at his surrogate elder brother. Aqualad turns towards the child of Zod. Where did you go? Asked Robin, who's wearing citizen clothes. Got bored so left and stopped some loser called Repo Man from robbing the bank. Said Ultraman with the shrug of his shoulders in an uncaring tone and not letting them know he had encountered the cousin of Superman. Kid Flash, who's in his citizen personal Wally West, grins at him. Cool, grinned Wally. So, this is your ship? Asked Ultraman. Miss Martian, whose alien name Megan Morse, but since she's on Earth she goes by Megan Morse. Yeah, this is my Martian bioship, said Megan. Wally stares at the ship with a half grin. Cute. Not aerodynamic but cute, grinned Wally. Megan giggles at the red-haired speedsters. It's asleep silently. I'll wake it up, said Megan. Ultraman, Hiwanoshisha, Superboy, Robin, Wally, and Aqualad, who also goes by Calderon. The four male heroes and Genomorph watch the ship transforms. How interesting. It reminds me of Drift, does not? Asked Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman can't help but to agree. They watch as the back hatch opens. Well, are you coming? Asked Megan, who glances back to them. The heroes then enters the ship. Strap in for launch, said Megan. Just as they sit down in the chairs, seatbelts form around them. Cool, said Wally. Megan then takes her seat. Red Tornado, please open the main door, requested Megan. The heroes then watch the doors open and the ship flies out. Robin turns towards Megan with a smirk. Incredible, said Robin. Wally stares at Megan with a dreamy look. Yeah, she sure is. I mean the ship. Like all ships are a she, said Wally in embarrassment. Robin then turned towards Megan, fast on his feet. Not so much with his mouth, said Robin. Dude, said Wally with a look of betrayal. Calder looks at Superboy with concern. I may not have psychic powers, but I can guess what you're thinking. You overreacted and you don't know to apologize. Just say sorry, said Calder in a friendly tone. Ultraman then places his hand on Superboy's shoulder, causing him to look at his surrogated elder brother. Don't worry, brother, I'm sure she forgives you. And we'll find you your own name, but when I'm not in my suit you could call me Naruto, said Ultraman. Superboy raised an eyebrow at Ultraman. Naruto, repeated Superboy. It means maelstrom, said Ultraman. Robin then looks at Megan with concern. He'll come around, said Robin. Megan looks at the boy wonder with a sad tone. It doesn't seem like he likes me much, said Megan. Yo, you guys remembered the two of them have super hearing, right? Asked Wally. Megan glances at the two Kryptonians who are sitting in silence. Hey, how about a little Martian shape-shifting? Asked Robin. Megan looks at Robin with a sheepless smile. She then gets up from her seat and shapeshifts into a female version of Robin, then turns into Kid Flash. Is it wrong that I think I'm hot? Questioned Wally with a dazed look. Yes it is, said Ultraman as he rolls his eyes at the speedster. That's impressive and all, but you aren't going to fool anyone with those, right? Asked Ultraman. Mimicking boys is a lot harder, said Megan. Hiwanoshisha narrows his eyes at the statement. And your clothes? Asked Calder in curiosity. They're organic, just like the ship. They respond with my mental commands, said Megan. As long they're the only thing you command, said Ultraman. Sure, he had Hiwanoshisha blocking Megan from her psychic invasion, but he also wouldn't her going into his head. Can you do that ghosting through walls thing like Manhunter does? Asked Wally. Density shifting. No, it's a very advanced technique, said Megan. Flash can vibrate his molecules right through a wall. Ahaha, when he tries it bloody nose, said Robin, embarrassing Wally. Dude, exclaimed Wally. Megan smiles cheerfully. Here's something I can do. Camouflage mode, said Megan. Red Tornado to Miss Martian. An emergency alert has been triggered at the Happy Harbor power plant. I suggest you investigate covertly. I'm sending the coordinates, said Red Tornado. Coordinates received. Adjusting course, ordered Megan. Robin turned towards Megan. Red Tornado probably keeping us busy again, said Robin. Well, a simple fire lead you to Superboy and Ultraman. We should find out what caused the alarm, said Megan as they land on the floor. They watch a tornado. I think I found the cause, said Superboy. The tornado then begins to come at them. They are then pulled into it. Megan then flies the team out of it. She then finally lands on the floor. The heroes then jump down from the open hatch. Robin, are tornadoes common in New England? Asked Calder, but Robin was no longer there. Ultraman clicked his tongue. Great, it does the same disappearing act as Batman, said Ultraman. Inside the building, a mysterious figure blasts a wind blast at Robin. Superboy jumps down while Ultraman flies down. Who's your new friend? Asked Superboy. Didn't catch his name, but he plays kind rough, yelled Robin as he watched both Superboy and Ultraman get ready for battle. My apologize. You may address me as Mr. Twister, said Mr. Twister, throwing 2 twisters at the two. Both heroes walked towards Mr. Twister. Ultraman grabs hold of Superboy's hand with his incredible strength. He throws Superboy at Mr. Twister, but the villain tosses Superboy back with the twister. Ultraman catches Superboy, stopping him from crashing to the wall. Wally puts on his goggles and runs towards Mr. Twister. He then jumps in mid-air and kangaroo kicks him, but Twister throws him aside. Mr. Twister then sends both the Atlantean and Martian back. I'm just prepared to be challenged by a superhero. I, however, was not expecting children, said Mr. Twister as he stares at both Robin and Ultraman, unaware of the Berdrang behind Robin's back and the shuriken behind Ultraman's back. Both heroes throw their respectable weapons. We aren't children, snarled Ultraman. Mr. Twister doesn't seem affected by the explosion. Affectionately, you are. How did you know about supervision? I find your appearance quite disturbing, said Mr. Twister. Well, we hate to see you disturbed. Let's see if you're more turn if you can, taunted Robin. Megan then destroyed the machine above him, causing a smoke screen. Superboy charges at him, but he's blown away, slamming into Miss Martian. Ultraman, Calder, and Robin charged at him, but seeing the attack coming, he backflips in mid-air and fires a powerful blast of his heat vision. The blast so powerfully Mr. Twister crashed through the wall. Let's see what you got, Tin Can, glared Ultraman. The other heroes regrouped behind him. Wally, you ready for round 2? Asked Ultraman. Wally nods his head. Yeah, let's do it, said Wally. You children are nothing but a cheap imitation, said Mr. Twister. Ultraman glares at their foe. What do you want? Demanded Ultraman. He then digs into his utility belt and grabs the Kryptonian grenade. Mr. Twist flies into the sky. Isn't it obvious I'm looking for a hero? Said Mr. Twister. Ultraman turned towards Hiwanoshisha. Read his mind, ordered Ultraman. The Genomorphs' eyes glowed red. I cannot, it is not organic, thought Hiwanoshisha. Ultraman sighs and turns towards Calder. He can't read his mind. Hiwanoshisha says he's a Machin, said Ultraman. So what? He's Red Tornado, said Megan. Robin turned towards Ultraman. She had a point. How many robots do you know how can generate tornadoes? And he did said he will be testing us. This is his test, something to keep us busy, exclaimed Robin. Wally looks down in disappointment. Speedy, right, we are a joke. This game is so over, said Wally. Robin, Wally, and Calder walked towards the machine. We know who you are. What you want? Yelled Robin in annoyance. So, let's end this, demanded Calder. Considered it ended, said Mr. Twister. He then begins to summon a huge twister, but then lightning has been added to the twister. Can Red Tornado do that? Asked Wally. You think I'm Red Tornado? Ironic, said Mr. Twister. Ultraman then throws his grenade at him. Hiwanoshisha, do it now, thought Ultraman. Hiwanoshisha then opens his mouth and release a huge hellish fire blast. A huge explosion goes off. He then turns towards Miss Martian. Cloak us now, orders Ultraman. Megan nods her head and cloaks the team. Upon see them vanish, he begins to fly away. I cannot doubt you children have power, but get in my way and I will end you, threatened Mr. Twister. What the hell just happened? Asked a confused Wally. I had Megan cloak us with her ship, said Ultraman. Superboy then snarls in anger. You think that makes it better? She tricked us in believing Twister was Red Tornado, snarled Superboy. Ultraman glares at Superboy. It's not her fault. Superboy, neither her or Hiwanoshisha knew if it was Red Tornado or not. This pointless fighting isn't getting us anywhere. Besides Superboy, it was a rookie mistake, said Ultraman. Superboy sighs and just walks past Megan. Why don't you hit the showers? Advised Wally as Superboy, Robin, Wally, and Calder take off. Megan's hair shadowed her face. I was just trying to be part of the time, said Megan. I'm not sure if this is actually a team, said Ultraman. He then flies off. At the docks, Mr. Twister creates various of twisters. Currently, this would draw attention, said Mr. Twister. You got ours full and undivided, said Wally as he speed kicks him, sending him back. Unacceptable annoyance. You are a distraction I can no longer tolerate, said Mr. Twister. Both Superboy and Ultraman flies down to the ground, sending shock waves by the two heavy hitters. On the bioship, the team really needs your help, said Megan as she's talking to Red Tornado, who's on the screen. If I intervene, it will not be to help. Still, it is an odd coincidence that this TW Ister sharia my elemental abilities and my immunity to telepathy, said Red Tornado. Hello Megan, said Megan. Back with the team, Mr. Twister hurls Calder through a house, tossed Twisters a T-Wally, but thanks to Robin and Ultraman throwing bombs, it destroyed the Twisters. After he threw Superboy in the air, he threes a boat. Ultraman then pulls out his negative Astro Blaster and begins firing at the damaged Mr. Twister. Everybody listen to me. All of you, thought Megan. Everyone grits their teeth as each of their minds are being invaded except Ultraman. What did we tell you? Growled an unpleasant Superboy. I know I messed up. But now I'm very clear on what we need to do. Please trust me, begged Megan. Red Tornado then flies down, hit the shower boys. I was hoping you can handle it, but you cannot, said Red Tornado. But we have a plan now, complained Robin. The subject is not up for debate, said Red Tornado. The rest of the heroes clear out. I was beginning to believe you weren't going to show, said Mr. Twister, staring at the Crimson Robot hero. I'm here now, said Red Tornado. He then throws a tornado at the robot. Mr. Twister creates his own tornado to clash with Red Tornado's. With his mastery over tornadoes, he stopped Mr. Twister's tornado dead in its tracks. We are evenly matched, Twister, said Red Tornado. He then throws another tornado. No tornado, we're not, roared the Storm Machine. He then punches the ground and then sends waves of lightning out of his hands. The lightning blow a machine up, thus catching Red Tornado in the crossfire. Remain still, android. Reprogramming won't take long, said Twister. He then puts some cords on his head. But Red Tornado then turns towards Megan. Longer than you think, said Megan. No, exclaimed Mr. Twister as he's drawn in by a self-made tornado. Superboy then punches a hole through the machine. Ultraman then begins to fire on at Mr. Twister, blowing off his arm. Calder grabs a rod and fires a blast of lightning, ripping its other arm off. Hiwanoshish's eyes glowed and rips the rest of Mr. Twister limb. BS off. Robin then throws more of his exploding bird rangs. The team watches as a hatch opens up and an old man falls out of the machine. I call foul, said the man. Megan lifts a rock and ignores the pleas of Calder and smashes the rock on the man. Robin walks up to Megan with a furious expression. I don't know how things work on Mars, but here we don't execute our captives, roared Robin. I thought you said you'll trust me, said Megan. She then lifts the rock, revealing a smashed robot. That's why I couldn't read his mind, said Megan. Ultraman nods his head. And the reason why I couldn't hear his heartbeat, said Ultraman, ignoring Wally as he picks up the robotic eye. We should have had more faith in you, said Calder with a gentle smile. Yeah, you worked this mission. Ignore him, you were amazing, congratulated Robin, not even aware of the recording eye by the robot. Location: Mount Justice. The team in Red Tornado can be seen hovering over the disabled Mr. Twister. It was obliviously created to try to sabotage or destroy you, said Ultraman. Agreed, said Red Tornado. Is that why you wouldn't help us? Asked a curious Megan. No, this was your battle. I do not believe it is my role to solve your problems for you, or should you solve mine, said Red Tornado in an emotionless tone. BB, but if you're in danger, stuttered Megan. Consider this matter closed, said Red Tornado. He then walks away. Batman, Aquaman, and Flash would jump in a heartbeat, complained Wally. I guess if we should have a bysitter, it should be a cold, heartless machine, snorted Robin. Dude, exclaimed Wally, and glaring at Robin. And inaccurate. I have a heart, carbon steeled alloy. I also have excellent hearing, said Red Tornado, turning towards Robin. Right, okay. I'll try to be more accurate, said Robin. And more respectful, said Calder, wrapping his arm around Robin's shoulder. After Ed Tornado exits out of the room, the three sidekicks walk away from the suit. Speedy was so wrong about this, said Wally. This team thing, said Robin. Just might work, said Calder. Superboy glances towards Ultraman and glances back to Megan with a solemn expression. Sorry, said Superboy. Megan smiles at the apology. Ultraman removes his helmet and smiles at Superboy. Good job, brother. Oh yeah, there's something I must tell you, said Ultraman. Superboy raised an eyebrow at Ultraman. Sure, what is it? Asked Superboy. Ultraman looks at Superboy with a serious expression. I meet Supergirl. I'll tell you more once we return to my room, said Ultraman, leaving Superboy shocked. There are 4 G-dwarves or Genomorph 0707 or a type of Genomorph engineered by Cadmus or tentacled worker drones. They are short, heavy-set creatures and their tentacles have a razor-sharp pincher. Unlike most of their kind, these 3 have mud-water brown skin. The reason for this is because they were created with Clayface's genes. Their 5 of the G-sprites are Genomorph 0424 or a type of are genetically engineered to have the power to constantly emit electricity. Thanks to Cadmus, the G-sprites have the DNA of Killer Frost and Livewire integrated into themselves, increasing their electricity abilities and granting them cryokinesis. They have ice blue skin and dark blue patterns. There are 5 G-trolls have been infused with the power of Dr. Light, giving them the power of photokinesis. There are 5 Genome who, just like Genome 1987, have the DNA of Jason Blood and Morgan Le Fay. There are 4 G-elves. G-elves are Genomorph 0777 or a type of Genomorph. When fully grown, the elves are the size of a human. They have increased speed and the ability to camouflage themselves from almost everything. They have even had their DNA altered, giving them the ability to turn their body into inorganic earth that can match the metal from Hawkman and Hawkgirl. There is 1 G-goblin. G-goblins are more humanoid than the other Genomorphs. They are thin and lanky, and stand upright with their hind legs. A G-goblin shares the whitish-gray skin color and red eyes of Genomorphs, but this one has green-skinned. It has short horns that glow red when they use their powers. G-goblins seem to have a single long whisker that runs down from the cheeks. This Genomorph has been created with the blood of a Marten. By having Marten blood flowing through his veins has increased its telepathic power, gained shapeshifting and flight. Wait, are serious? You met Supergirl, Superman's cousin, exclaimed the shocked Kryptonian. Out of all the things, he wasn't expecting Ultraman to tell him that he met Supergirl. Ultraman places his hand on Superboy's shoulder. RBOY, relax, it hasn't anything grand and I'm not sure if you can call us meeting each other, said Ultraman with a sigh. If the Kryptonian had to be honest, I wasn't even a meeting. And of course sup. Boy looks at Naruto with a confused expression on his name. I don't understand, what do you mean? Why wouldn't you call it a meeting? Asked Superboy, his blues glaring into Ultraman's own blue eyes. The Man of Steel clone. What Ultraman had not made sense. He doubt Robin or Aqualad would have understand what Ultraman had said. What I meant, I didn't really talk to her. Don't give me that look. You guys called just seconds after I took down Repo Man. I literally couldn't speak to her, said Ultraman. He then watches as Superboy stops giving him a suspicious glare. When we nearly flew into each other and I had to leave, the only thing she said was you're a Kryptonian and that's it, said Ultraman. Superboy rubs the back of his head and releases a sigh. Man, that sucks. I wish you could have talked more with her, complained Superboy. Ultraman nods his head in agreement with Superboy. His eyes then narrowed. But you know what's strange? She was surprised. To me it was as if she couldn't believe there was another Kryptonian other than herself and Superman. I mean, why would she be shocked by my existence? Questioned Ultraman. None of this made sense. Even the Genmomes weren't sure how Supergirl wasn't aware that he and Superboy not only exist but they work for Batman with covert team of young superheroes. Wait, are you saying Supergirl didn't know you even existed until this morning? Asked Superboy. Ultraman nods his head. But Naruto, how is that even possible? I mean, Supergirl is a member of the League, so how can she not know of us? Asked a confused and frustrated Superboy. The blonde had an idea why Supergirl was clueless of their existence, but he didn't wish to voice it because he knew if he did it would hurt Superboy. Don't worry, next time if either of us meet Supergirl, I'll ask her. It shouldn't be too hard, especially since both she, Superman, and Steel operated in Metropolis, states Naruto. Superboy smiles. His smile then becomes a smirk. Right, said Superboy. Hey, I have an idea. How about we go on patrol? Questioned Ultraman. Superboy shot him a raised eyebrow. To Metropolis? Asked Superboy. Ultraman shook his head. Negativity. Then where? Cover City? Questioned Superboy. Nope, I was thinking Florida, stated Ultraman. Superboy looks at Ultraman with a confused yet curious expression. Florida, why there? Questioned Superboy. Simple, it isn't a home to any superhero. So what you waiting for? Joked Ultraman, who puts his helmet back on. Both Kryptonians walked towards the Zada Tubes. Miami, Florida, said Ultraman. Location: Miami, Florida. The two were then transported on top of a building. Ultraman then takes a deep breath, enjoying the heat from the sun. So, how you feel? Asked Naruto with a toothy grin. Superboy flexes his fingers. Good, I can never get over how good the sun feels. Grins the young hero. So what you waiting for? Asked Superboy. The black-haired teen leaps off one building and onto another building. Ultraman flies, allowing him to easily catch up with Superboy. One Kryptonian leaps through the air while the other flies through the air. One wouldn't think they would be so close as to calling brother Mo. Saint would believe the two would hate each other, but even with being a clone of Superman and General Zod, the two still care for one of the other. Ultraman turns towards Superboy and smirks at him. He then increases his speed, causing Superboy's eyes went wide with shock. A smirk then appears on his face. He then launches himself off the ground, causing him to jump even higher in the skin. His eyes narrowed. What the hell, did you hear that? Asked Superboy. Ultraman nods his head. Yeah, sounds like someone is breaking into a car. Let's go, declared Ultraman. Right, replied Superboy. You seemed more energetic than usually. Any reason why? Asked Hiwanoshisha. Honestly, I have no clue. It could be because both myself and Superboy are on patrol, and I guess I hope when Superboy meets Supergirl she won't treat him like Superman. Thought Naruto. He honestly didn't like Superman, and it wasn't because of Zod's blood runs through him. No, it has been weeks since they escaped from Cadmus. And Superman still hasn't visited him or Superboy. Hiwanoshisha hums to himself. It seems like your distastefulness for the Man of Steel hasn't changed, thought Hiwanoshisha while he and Superboy were patrolling the city. The Genomorphs was back at home reading Stephen King's Children of the Corn. The telepathic being flips a page from the book. He then glances at his larger siblings who are sleeping. The blonde alien rolled his eyes. Can't really blame me, he didn't leave a good impression, thought Naruto. Hiwanoshisha knew what the blonde was speaking true. Ultraman stops and glances at Superboy, who has landed on a building. Superboy's blue-colored stares in the distance and sees a car swerving right. That must be them. Ready? Asked Ultraman. The black-haired nods his head. Yeah, let's do this. But I could use a push, grinned Superboy. Ultraman grins back at Superboy. He grabs hold of Superboy's hand, tosses him directly at the speeding car. One of the man wearing ski mask grins at the bearded man next to him. You think we're good? Asked the man. The bearded man grins. Yeah, I think we're good, grinned the man. Suddenly the stolen car stops as the young Kryptonian glares at them. No, you're far from good, said Superboy. The bald-headed man points AM-16 at Superboy's head. Fuck you, kid, roared the man. He blows the trigger, but the bullet simply bounced off of Superboy's head. Superboy scoffed at the man. He then rips the man right from the driver's seat and tosses the man out of the car, causing him to hit the wall. The two pull out their own guns, but they end the car frozen. Ultraman rips the door off and throws the man on the ground. Superboy does the same. Superboy then rolls his eyes at the assassin. Kryptonian show off, commented Superboy. Ultraman rolls his eyes. Here, cuff them, ordered Ultraman, who throws Superboy rope that was in the trunk. He then moves over to one of the men and he removes the ski mask and revealing the face of a Caucasian male who appears of Irish descent. The man looks like he is the age of 32 years of age. Yano, if you want to rob a car, don't look like you're about to steal a car, but I guess not all criminals are getting smarter except for the supervillains, insulted Ultraman, ignoring the men glaring at him. The Irish man snarls at Ultraman with his mouth bleeding. Screw you, fucking lickars. ROARED. The man in anger. Ultraman simply pokes him in the shoulder. His friends watch in shock as their friend gets flown back by the blonde. The man screams in pain as his shoulder is broken. WHWH, what the hell you brats doing here? Muttered the man. Ultraman and Superboy clearly heard him, but neither decided to comment on it. One of the men stares at Superboy's shirt. What the hell are you supposed to be? Superman's nephew, mocked the man, but Superboy scowls at the man. Ultraman then turns towards Superboy. You hear that right? Asked Ultraman. Superboy nods his head. The two didn't have to wait long as two cop cars arrive. As the officers step out of their cars, they stare in shock as they find the robbers tied up and two young heroes. The female stares at the two. Who are you two? Questioned the woman. Superboy rolled his eyes. Who do you think? Questioned Superboy with much sarcasm. Ultraman places his hand on Superboy's shoulder, causing the teen to turn his head away. I'm Ultraman and this is Superboy. We came as soon as possible when we heard people stealing a car, said Ultraman. Each of the officers stare at them in confusion. You heard them? Don't you mean you saw them? Asked the male officers. Both teens shook their heads. Negativity. No, we're Kryptonian, said Ultraman. Each of the officers smiles at the two, just like Superman helping wherever he is needed. Thought the female. Thank you, we'll be taking these guys in, said the female. Both teens nod their head at her. Ultraman flies up while Superboy jumps high in the air. Each officer couldn't help but to marvel at the two. She then hears the sound of a camera click and turns around to see a male rookie with his phone out taking a picture. Time skip. Location: Caribbean Sea. High in the dark sky as the team who were inside the Martian spaceship were approaching Santa Prrisca, informed the young green-skinned alien Ultraman had decided to bring Haiwanoshisha and Shironoju. Flashback. Batman stares at the holographic map while the team is standing behind him. I saw Santa Prrisca. This island nation is the primary source of a dangerous and illegal neo-steroid. Strength enhancing drug sold on the street named Venom. Infrared heat signatures indicate the factory is still operating at full capacity, but all shipment of Venom had been inexplicably cut off. That's where this team comes in, said Batman. He then turns towards the young heroes. This is a covert recon mission. Only observe and report. If the Justice League needs to intervene, it will. The plan requires 2 drop zones, said Batman. He then turns back to the screen. So, who's in charge? Asked Robin. Both Batman and Red Tornado turns towards each other, then turns towards the young child figure that out between you, said Batman. Robin nods his head at his mentor. Flashback end. Drop zone A and 30, said Miss Martian, bringing Robin out of his daze. Aqualad stands up. He then presses his belt, causing his suit to change into black. Ready, said Aqualad, who was in stealth mode. Putting bio ship in camouflage mode, said the Martian. The ship then becomes invisible, allowing him to fly in without being detected from those who might catch sight of the ship. The ship flies towards the island with great speed. The hatch opens up and Aqualad dives into the sea. The Atlantean passes 2 sea grenades. He then creates a sword and cuts through the net, allowing him to pass by. He then jumps out and lands on shore. The young teen runs to a device and puts in a red tube that contains in some red liquid. He then presses his comm. Heat and motion sensors are patched. Data is now on a continuous loop. Move in, said the young hero. The bio ship moves in closer. Drop zone B, said Miss Martian. Superboy, Shironoju, Haiwanoshisha, Ultraman, Robin, Miss Martian, and Kid Flash stand up. The female alien extends her hand, causing an organic alien harness to appear. Both Robin and Kid Flash hook it onto their belts. Kid Flash presses the emblem on chest and grins as his yellow and red suit becomes black and red. How cool is this? Asked Kid Flash, who turns towards to Miss Martian. Very impressive, said Miss Martian. She then changes her clothes, making it a black bodysuit. This had left the red-haired speedster flabbergasted. That works too. Hey Soupy, Flyboy, not too late for stealth tech, said Kid Flash, turning towards the 2 Kryptonians. No capes, no tights, no offense, said Superboy with his arms crossed. Ultraman shook his head at Kid Flash. Needed a stealth suit before and I don't need one now, said Ultraman. After all, with all the missions the Light and Cadmus had sent him on, he was never seen until it was too late for those unfortunately who he was sent to kill. I think it totally works for you, said Miss Martian in a dreamy tone, staring at Superboy. In that you can totally do good work in those clothes, said Miss Tien, trying to cover what she said, but Superboy doesn't comment. She then puts on her hood, thus making her invisible. The hatch opens up and she flies down along with Kid Flash, Robin, Ultraman, Haiwanoshisha and Shironoju. Ultraman sighs. He raised his hand up in the air, grabbing onto Superboy's shirt, stopping him from crashing into the ground. We need to work on your landing, said Ultraman, putting Superboy back on the ground. Yeah, no kidding, we do not need a seismic event. This is a convert. Superboy complained Robin that their cover was almost blown if it had not been for Ultraman. Aqualad, drop B is a go, said Miss Martian. The young native of Atlantis is climbing up a large cliff. Head for the factory. I'll try to track you with GPS and we'll rendezvous ASAP, said Aqualad. Roger that, said Robin. The young heroes then run into the forest. Robin then presses a button and a map appears on his suit. Both Superboy and Ultraman comes to a stop as they hear a Wig being snapped in half. Did you hear that? Asked Superboy. Ultraman then pulls out his negative Astro Blaster. No wait, is this a super hearing thing? Asked Kid Flash. You do have great ears, said Miss Martian with a smile. Okay Rob, now what? Asked Kid Flash, but Robin had disappear. Man, I hated when does that, groaned Kid Flash. Superboy, Kid, Ultraman, switch to infrared, see if you are being tracked, said Aqualad. Kid Flash puts on his goggles. Got a squad of armed bozos incoming, said Kid Flash. Each of them gets into a hiding position while Shoronoju's body becomes part of the rock that Kid Flash is using as a hiding spot. 2 squads, said Superboy. But they'll meet each other before finding us, said Ultraman. Both he and Superboy watch as the 2 squads fire on each other. No super hearing required now, said Kid Flash, as he's also able to see the 2 groups kill each other. Squad Y, stay clear, ordered Aqualad. Yeah, just as soon as I find Rob, said Kid Flash, who runs through the forest, but due to the muddy ground he trips and unfortunately he lands right between Bane and Cobra, and even more unfortunately, the team lands right in front of Bane, who now has a gun pointed at his face. So much for the stealthy, said Kid Flash. Bane fires at him, but luckily he can avoid each of the bullets. He then runs CK into the forest. Superboy jumps into the fight punching Bane, but the man quickly pin him into the ground, ready to break his arm. Ultraman then blast Babe into a tree with his gun. Kid Flash contin UES to dodge bullets. Robin jumps down on the 2 men. He then uppercuts a man. What is wrong with you guys? Have you never heard of convert? Why didn't you follow my lead? Vanish into the jungle, complained Robin. Kid Flash punches a pan in the stomach. He then backflips and kicking the man away. That's what you were doing. Fill us in, we're not mind readers, you know, said Kid Flash. Miss Marcia and then flings 2 men at a tree while Shoronoju uses the earth to trap the 2 men. Or I'm not anyways, said Kid Flash. You told me I can only read the bad guys' minds, said Miss Martian. Aqua Lad then jumps down, grabbing onto one of the Cobra followers and electrocuting him into unconscious. The heroes then tie the men up. I recognized those uniforms, they belong to Cult of the Cobra, said Robin. Aqualad turns towards the boy. Wonder, I am certain Batman would have mentioned it if he knew a dangerous extremist was running Santa Prrisca's mining operation, states the teen. Agreed. Since there's no love lost with the cult and those goons, I'm betting Cobra came and tossed them out. That's why their supply line has been cut off, states Robin. We get it. Cobra wanted Sue. Her cultists mystery solved. Radio bats and we'll be home in time. These cultists aren't on Venom. Cobra is hoarding the stuff we don't leave. Not until I know why, said Robin, wanting know why exactly. Cobra is just saving Venom. Kid Flash glares at Robin. Until you know why, said Kid Flash. Robin glares back at Kid Flash. This team needs a leader, said Robin. And it's you. Dude, you're a 13-year-old kid who dropped out on us without a word, insulted Kid Flash. But Robin simply chuckles at Kid Flash. And you're a matured 15. You blew our cover the first chance you got, said Robin. Miss Martian then turned towards the 2 Kryptonians. Don't you 2 want to lead, asked the young female. Superboy shook his head. Negativity. Most missions I was sent on were assassinate. Ion, so that's an obvious no. What about you, asked Ultraman. After the Mr. Twister fiasco, said Miss Martian with an uneasy tone. Superboy smiles at her. You did all right, said Superboy, ca. using her to blush. Both Kryptonians then listen a man speak to Bane in Spanish. Yeah, you don't even have superpowers, exclaimed Kid Flash, stomping away. Robin follows after him. Neither does Batman, said Robin. The older teen stops and stares at Robin. Shoo, you're not Batman, declared Kid Flash. Shoo, closest thing we got, exclaimed Robin. But this comment had caused Bane to laugh. Such clever Ninos, but you only know half the story. Let me show you the rest. Get you into the factory via my secret entrance, said Bane, catching the attention of the heroes. Miss Martian stars at him. There is a secret entrance, but he's also hiding something, said Miss Martian, her eyes glow white. Chica, Bane is not that easy, said Bane with a smug grin. He's mental. Why reciting football scores in Enspanel? This could take a while, said Miss Martian. Hiwanoshisha, Shoronoju, read his mind, ordered Ultraman. Both of the Genomorphs' eyes glow red. We can't get through, said Shoronoju. His mind is well guarded, said Hiwanoshisha, causing Ultraman to groan. Neither of them were able to get past the mental blocks, said Ultraman, but the blonde Kryptonian knew he shouldn't be that surprised since Bane is an intelligent man and he's the man who broke the bat. It's not that complicated, the enemy on my enemy is my friend, said Bane. Time skip. The heroes and Bane stare down at the factory. Robin then takes out his binoculars, watches men carry the venom. Look at all that product, to buy is going down, but if Cobra is not selling to USUA L suspects, then we need to identify the buyer, said Aqualad. Just what I was thinking, commented Kid Flash. Yeah, you're the thinker, smirked Robin. Kid Flash glares at Robin's sarcasm. Dude, a real leader would focus on getting answers, said Kid Flash. They watch as Bane moves a large boulder and revealing a secret passage. Answers are this way, grinned the Hispanic man. So, now El Luchador is our leader, joked Kid Flash, but this comment had earned him a slap to the head by Robin. As they walk towards a metal door, Bane presses the red button. The red light turns green and opens. They open the door to the factory and see no one around. All clear, said Robin. He then runs into the building. Has the little fool already been caught? Questioned Bane. No, he just does that, said Aqualad, who was beginning to get tired with Robin's disappearing act. Kid Flash then puts on his goggles. Stay put, I'll get our intel before Boy Wonder, said Kid Flash. Wait, kid, said Aqualad, but the speedster had already ran off. Great Chalo Camino, said Bane, turning towards the other heroes. Aqualad, Miss Martian, Superboy, and Ultraman each stare at each other. There above in the control room, a batarang had flown in the computer. Suddenly green gas covers his vision, causing the man to be knocked out. Robin then pushes the man out of the seat and begins working on the computer. It's a massive shipment, said Aqualad as they watch the men load the venom. Yeah, but they're only taking new product off the line, they're not touching this venom, said Superboy. Maybe freshness counts, commented the alien female. Helicopters coming, said Ultraman. Each of them then turned to look in the sky and see a helicopter. Kid Flash walks into T control room and sees Robin working on the computer. What you got? Asked Kid Flash, who was eating an energy bars. Chemical formulas, I'm guessing it involves venom, but trailed Robin. This one is venom and that one is wow. And that one is the Blockbuster formula from Cadmus mixed correctly. Cobra juices 3 times stronger than venom and permit. How did Cobra get access from Project Blockbuster? Wondered Kid Flash. Our mystery buyer must also be Cobra's supplier, using the cult to create a Blockbuster super formula. Robin to Aqualad, we got static, said Robin, narrowing his eyes. Outside, Sports Master exits out of the helicopter. He then walks towards the leader of Cobra. Lord Cobra, said the blonde man. Sports Master, the shipment is ready, said Lord Cobra. FM. Ale shows the man of the new Blockbuster venom formula. The man grabs a file. The new Cobra venom, said Sports Master, looking at the hulking man. A complete success, our friends will not be disappointed, said Lord Cobra with nothing but confidence. This is a whole new game changer. Finally we can go mano el mano against the Justice League, said Sports Master, and unaware that Miss Martian is flying above them. Aqualad sending you a telepathic image right now, thought Miss Martian. Aqualad then turns towards both Kryptonians. Sports Master, he is the buyer. Aqualad to Red 2. RNADO, do you read? Can't reach the League, Robin, or Kid, stated a frustrated and annoyed Aqualad. Comms jammed, we need a plan now, said Aqualad. Bane grins, I have a suggestion, said Ban. He then jumps down, punching a man. He then raises the man's gun, stopping him from shooting his gun at him. We have incoming, said Ultraman. They then hear a loud roar and the Cobra venom man bust through the window, causing Superboy, Aqualad, and Ultraman to hit the ground. They glare at the behemoth of a man. The man charges at them. Superboy and Ultraman runs at the creature while Aqualad creates a water shield shielding him from the bullets. He then fires a water ball at the man and Babe uses this as a distraction and walks away from the battle. Miss Martian then uses her powers to send the men flying. The man punches Superboy into the wall. Shironoju turns itself into a larger version of itself that is made out of earth. Shironoju punches the man in the stomach, sending him back. SP. Ort's Master then takes out a spear and throws it at Miss Martian. She dodges, but the device then explodes. Superboy then gets punched in the jaw by the man. Kid Flash then kicks the men away, saving AQ. Oolad, Miss Martian radio is jammed. Link us up, ordered Aqualad. Is everyone online? thought Miss Martian. The two Kryptonians get pushed back by the large man. Yeah, thought Superboy glaring at the man. Yeah, I can hear you, thought Ultraman. He then blasts the man away with his heat vision. You know it beautiful, said Kid Flash. Good, we need to regroup, said Aqualad. Kinda busy, thought Robin, who's busy fighting the woman. Robin now, ordered Aqualad. Robin grits his teeth in frustration. He then throws down a smoke bomb. Aqualad creates a water whip. Knock them back, we have to retreat now. Kid, clear a path, ordered Aqualad. Kid Flash knocks down various of the Cobra followers with high-speed punches. The man charges at Ultraman, who smirks. He then grabs hold of his hands and kicks the man in the gut, sending at the Cobra followers. Ultraman then flies back and closes the door. The heroes then run towards the exit with the large man hot on their trail. Hiwanoshisha, the support beams, yelled Aqualad. Both of the support beams are then broken in half, causing the entrance to cave in. Aqualad then snaps the glow sticks. How could my first mission as leader go so wrong? Muttered Robin. You do have the most experience, but perhaps that is what has left you unprepared fighting alongside Batman. Your roles are defined, you two don't need to talk, but this team is new and a leader must be clear, explicit. He cannot disappear and expect others to play parts in an unknown plan, lectured Aqualad. Robin quickly turns around at Aqualad. Oh, so I'm supposed to hold everyone's hands up? Who am I kidding? You should lead us, Calder. You're the only one who can, said Robin with a smirk. Please, I can run. Wally, please, you know he's the one. We all do, said Robin, stopping Kid Flash from talking and seeing reason. Hello Megan, it's so obvious, said Miss Martian. Superboy smiles at Aqualad. Could have told ya, said Superboy. Ultraman nods his head. You are the fit to lead this team, said Ultraman. Aqualad then walks towards Robin and places his hand on Robin's shoulder. Then I accept the burden until you are ready to lift it from my shoulders. You were born to lead this team, maybe not now but soon, said Aqualad. Robin smiles at him. He then turned towards everyone else. All right, our first priority is preventing that shipment from leaving this island, said Aqualad. Funny, I had the same thought, grinned Robin. With Lord Cobra, both Lord Cobra and Shimmer stand in front of the helicopter. Sabotage Robin, said Sportsmaster. Undoubtedly find the problem, fix it, said Lord Cobra. A follower and the large man walks towards the master. Should we send a search party for the intruders? Asked the man. Don't be foolish, they'll come to us, said Lord Cobra. With the team, Sportsmaster is the supplier, but it still doesn't track. He doesn't have the juice to require the Blockbuster formula or to get Cobra to do his dirty work, said Robin, who's looking at the screen. And neither of them has the chops to blend Blockbuster with Venom. That takes some major nerdiest, said Kid Flash. I believe the expression is the tip of the iceberg, said Aqualad. As they exit out of the tunnel they see Bane. Halt, Ninos, I'm feeling explosive, said Bane. They look above them and see various of bombs rigged. You betrayed us. Why? Asked Aqualad. I want my factory back, so I forced you into a situation where you would either take down my enemy or die trying. If the latter, then the Justice League would certainly come to avenge their sidekicks, and when the smoke clears, Santa Prrisca will be mine once more. Blowing the tunnel with you inside should have the same effect, said Bane. But as he pressed the button, Kid Flash takes the device, leaving him shocked with what this trigger thingy, said Kid Flash with a snarky grin. Bane attempts to punch him, but Hiwanos Hisha lifts him in the air. I'm so going to enjoy this, drop him, grinned Ultraman. Hiwanoshisha's crimson eyes stop glowing. Both Superboy and Ultraman punch the man at the factory. Just before SP Ort's master can get on the helicopter, each man is knocked to the ground by Kid Flash. Take the shipment, ordered Lord Cobra. Both Superboy and Ultraman drop to the ground. Go again, grinned Superb. Oi, causing the man to growl. The man charges at him, but he's knocked to the side by a huge wave of water by Aqualad. Sorry, not part of the plan, grinned Superboy. Both of them are then shot by Sport Master. He then sees Miss Martian and puts the girl in a headlock and continued to fire on the two. Shironoju creates a mud wave, knocking a few of the men to the side. Robin then throws one of his D gets, trapping Shimmer. I know you don't like getting your hands dirty, grinned Robin. True, but sometimes a god must step to conquer, said Lord Cobra, removing his cloak. Robin jumps at him, but the pale man grabs his knee. Robin then tries for a side kick, but the man blocks it and kicks Robin in the gut. What's wrong, boy? You look disconcerted, said Lord Cobra. Kid Flash continues to knock The men down and Aqualad keeps the large man at bay. He then electrified the man into unconscious. Sports Master then throws Miss Martian at Superboy. Thanks for the workout but I gotta fly, said Sports Master. Miss Martian smiles at the two. She then pressed the button causing one of bomb to explode, this bringing the helicopter down directly into the factory. Lord Cobra stomps on Robin's chest. I am being played by mosquitoes, said Lord Cobra. Good, because this mosquito is mighty concerned about your pain, said Robin. He then jumps back with the team right behind him. Another time then, said Lord Cobra, who walks back into the shadows. Robin grins at Aqualad. We picked the right guy to lead, automatically having you explain this mess to Batman, laughed Robin. The next why at Mount Justice? Batman stares emotionless at Aqualad. A simple recon mission, observe and report. You'll each receive a written evaluation detailing your many mistakes. Until then, good job, said T-Man. Each of the young heroes stare at Batman with surprise. No battle plans. Survive first contact with the enemy. How you adjust to the unforeseen determines success, and how you choose who leads determines character, said Batman. Aqualad smirks at Robin. The next day. Location: Metropolis. At the bridge, one of the cables snap, causing a crash to happen and a bus full of children to be nearly knocked over. Fortunately, Superman comes in time to stop the bus and use his heat vision to fix the broken pillar. Superboy and Ultraman then comes down. Superboy picks up a car and sets it back on the road. Unknown to the Kryptonians, Bruce Wayne is watching. But just as the school bus was going to fall over, Ultraman picks it up and sees Superman holding it. He releases the bus, allowing Superman to put it down. Both young heroes walk towards Superman. I had that, said Ultraman. I didn't want to take a chance as it both of your landing destabilized the entire bridge, said Superman. But it didn't, said Superboy, staring at the man he was cloned from. But it could have. We don't yet know the limits to your powers, said Superman, narrowing his eyes at the boy. Maybe you could help me figure it out, asked Superboy in an uneasy tone. Batman got that covered, said Superman. I know, but Superman, wait, Arrow, slow down. What's attacking? Asked Superman, who's speaking into his comm. No, I'm definitely available. Coordinates. Acknowledge, on my way, said he. Then turns towards the two. Sorry, Super and Ultraman, duty calls, said Superman. He then flies in the sky. Superboy narrowed his eyes at Superboy while Ultraman scowls at the Man of Steel. Superman then presses on his comm. Already got the call, Bruce, said Superman. I know, but we need to talk, said Bruce. Location: Mount Justice. Recognized Superboy B04, Ultraman B05. Announced the machine. The team turns and see Ultraman and Superboy walking out of the Zeta tube with a scowl on each of their faces. Hi guys, how was Metropolis? Asked Miss Martian, but both teens walk by them. Everyone ready for training, said a woman. They turn around and see Black Canary and Martian Manhunter. Black Canary, Uncle John, exclaimed Miss Martian, who hugs her uncle. Both Martians separate from each other. McGann, I was in the neighborhood. I wanted to see how you were adjusting, asked the male Martian. A little bump, but I'm learning, said Miss Martian. Her uncle smiles at this. That's all I can ask, said Martian Manhunter. Black Canary then seizes Superboy and Ultram and begins to walk away. Stick around, class is in session, said Black Canary, forcing the two to stop. She then leads the team into an arena. She then stands in front of Superboy while the others watch. I considered it an honor to be your teacher. Everything I've learned from my own mentors and my own bruises, said Black Canary, removing her jacket and showing that her arm is wrapped in bandages. Miss Martian looks at the blonde woman with concern. What happened to you? Asked a worried Miss Martian. A job. Now combat is about controlling conflict and putting the battle in your terms. You should always be acting, never reacting. Now I'll need a sparring partner, states the woman. Kid Flash raises his hand with a grin on his face. Ooh, right here, said Kid Flash. He then walks in the arena and continued to eat the banana. After this, swish, said Kid Flash, throwing the fruit away. He then turns back to her. I'll show you my moves, said Kid Flash in a flirty manner. But Black Canary smirks at the young speedster. She then goes for a left hook. He blocks it, but then she quickly swoops low, causing the young teen to fall on his ass, shocking the team. How easy she took him out. Ouch, hurts so good, groaned Kid Flash. Good block, but did anyone see what he did wrong? Asked Black Canary, who helps Kid Flash back on his feet. Robin smirks at his friend. Ooh, he hit on teacher and got served. said Robin. Dude, replied Kid Flash. He allowed me to dictate the terms, please. With my powers the battle is always on my terms. Both myself and Naruto are living weapons and this is a waste of my time, said Superboy in a confidence tone. Ultraman nods his head in agreement, and I was trained personally by Deathstroke and Roz. I have better things to do, said an agitated Ultraman who's still angry at Superman. But I also wanted to work on my gun, thought Ultraman. Black Canary smiles at the two overconfident aliens. Prove it, said Black Canary. Both Superboy and Ultraman walk in the circle with Superboy standing in front of her and Ultraman staying back. Superboy goes for a left hook but she sidesteps it and throws him over her shoulder and having him land on his back. Robin laughs at this but Aqualad elbows him in the ribs causing him to stop. Superboy gets up and growls at her. Good, you're angry now, channel that anger, said Black Canary, but she was unable to finish as he charges at her. Black Canary quickly jumps over him and sweep kicks him causing him to fall on his back. She then turned towards Ultraman. It's your turn now, said Black Canary. Superboy gets up and walks over to Ultraman. Take her down, whispered Superboy in a low tone. Ultraman nods his head. He gets in a fighting stance. Black Canary follows him and gets into her own stance. Ultraman charges at her with a right hook. She attempts to grab his arm but he kicks her a few feet back. She grabs her ribs in pain. Since you are human, I have to be careful not to kill you. Your rib is bruised, not broken, said Ultraman. She smirks at him and impressed with him. He then charges at her with a left jab but she quickly places his arm in a leg lock and slams him into the ground. He quickly gets up. I'm done, said Ultraman in angry tone, not pleased that she took him down. But before either could leave she places her hand on his shoulder. Training in mandatory, said Black Canary, but he rudely swats her hand away. Ultraman and Superboy glares at Black Canary. But suddenly Batman appears on screen. Batman to the cave 5 hours ago. A new menace attacked Green Arrow and Black Canary. The attacker was capable of studying then duplicating the powers and abilities of its opponents. Green Arrow called in reinforcements. Wick H nearly proved disastrous as R for gain more and more power with each new combatant, said Batman. The screen shows a robotic man casually beating Superman, Flash, and Red Tornado. Each of the Enagers look on with surprise while one guy with the powers of the entire league, muttered Kid Flash. In the end it took 8 Leaguers 4 hours to defeat and dismantle the android, said Batman. An android? But who made it? Oh, Morrow, asked Robin. Good guess, Robin, but Red Tornado doesn't think so, said Batman. The technology bears the symbol of Professor Evo, said Martian Manhunter, causing the team to stare at him. Evo, but Iva's dead, said a confused Aqualad. Black Canary turns towards him. So we thought or hoped, said Black Canary. To make certain his threat is permanently neutralized, we're sending 2 trucks to 2 separate Star Labs faculties in Boston and New York. Every precaution is being taken. We'll have additional decoy trucks to create Co-N fusion in case Evo or anyone tries to recover the remains. You will split into undercover teams to safeguard the 2 real trucks, explained Batman. Yes, road trip, exclaimed an excited Kid Flash. So, now we take out your trash, said Superboy in a rude tone. You have something better to do, questioned Batman, causing Superboy to look at the ground. Coordinates received 1 hour away, said Aqualad staring at the device in his hand. Everyone runs towards the Zata tube. Expect Ultraman and Superboy. Hiwanoshisha jumps on Ultraman's shoulder. Black Canary places her hand on Bot H Ultraman and Superboy's shoulders. The 2 turns towards her. When you 2 are ready, I'll be waiting, said Black Canary. The 2 walk off heading towards the Zata tubes. Time skip. Litchfield County. Various of trucks can be spotted heavily guarded with various members of the League standing guard. 2 men place the Amazo's body in the truck. Superman uses his X-ray vision to spot the team riding on a motorcycle. Ultraman turns and looks at the man. He watches as the man walks away. Both he and Superboy place their helmet on. Batman then makes a hand movement. Each of the trucks begins to add in their own direction. The team splits into 2 groups. Each of the heroes fly away. Superman gets ready to take off as well, but Batman places his hand on his shoulder, stopping his friend. I told you we need to talk, said Batman, leaving no room for discussion with Robin, Superboy, and Ultraman. The Boy Wonder turns towards the 2 Kryptonians. If this like is the opposite of like, then is Diaster the opposite of Aster. See, if nothing is going wrong, then it is going right. Asked Robin, but neither answered him clearly. You're not feeling the Aster, is something wrong? Asked a concerned RO. Been noticing both clones are in a foul mood. Usually it's just Superboy and Ultraman tries to calm him, but this time it's the two of them. Superboy glances at Robin Canary. And what business does she have teaching combat skills to myself and Naruto, who have super strength? Said an agitated Superboy. As for Ultraman, he felt as his pride was damaged by losing against Black Canary, who wouldn't stand a chance against Deathstroke or Ra's al Ghul. Taking down stronger guys is part of the gig. Canary learned that the hard way, same with Batman and well, me, said Robin. Superboy presses the gas more, speeding up to the trunk. Well, I can't blame him. I'm annoyed that I was beaten by someone who was far weaker than the people who trained me, said Ultraman. He too pressed the gas, speeding up with Superboy. With Aqualad, Kid Flash, and Miss Martian. Do you think Superboy and Naruto are alright? I wasn't reading their minds, but I swear anger flown off the both of them in waves, said Miss Martian, worried for the two. Kid Flash chuckles. Surf that wave, just give the two some space. Me stick as close as you, said a cocky Kid Flash. Superboy and Ultraman just needs time to cool off. Quiet mission will clear their heads, said Aqualad. Unknown to them, strange robotic apes come from the cornfields. Each of the robots grab onto the truck. Aqualad presses his comm. Robin, Superboy, Ultraman, our truck is under attack, said Aqualad. Kinda figured, said Robin, as the robotic apes are on their truck too. I hate monkey, snarled Superboy. The monkey then attempt to break through the glass, causing the truck to drive widely. Robot monkeys. Aha, totally Ivo's tweak style, said Robin. He then presses a button, causing one of the wheels to detach and becomes a flying drone. Hey, switch to battle mode, said Robin. Superboy grins. No point, said Superboy. He jumps off the bike and onto the truck. Hiwanoshisha, take control, said Ultraman. He flies up to the truck. The Genomorphs controls the bike, having it crash into the field. Unfortunately, Superboy's bike comes at Robin, causing his to jump off. He then released a grappling hook from his suit, allowing him to stick on the truck. On stop of the truck, Ultraman and Superboy are destroying the robots, while Robin and the drone destroyed the robots. The robots blast the two Kryptonians in the eyes and Dr. Ops them far behind. Both Superboy and Ultraman grab their faces, unable to open their eyes. The two then focused, listening to the sound of the robots. Ultraman grabs hold of Superboy and flies after the truck. Aqualad creates a water whip, cutting the robots in half. Some of the robots get on the other heroes to get off. Somebody help, pleaded a man on top of the truck. The robots cut open a hole. It then peels the roof off, but they were greeted to bullets. They then enter the truck. Miss Martian flies above and uses her telekinesis to throw them off the truck. Kid Flash then kicks the robot's off of the truck. Aqualad continues to destroy the robots that are attached to the back of the truck. Each member struggles to smash each and every machine. Miss Martian grows various of hands thrusts. The machines. Both she and Kid Flash land on top of the truck, seeing various of arms sticking out of her body. He freaks out. She also freaks out as various of robots come out of the truck down below. The robots grab hold of the cargo and begins to take the sky. Aqualad glares at the robots. Back with Robin, he makes his way to the top of the truck and takes out two batons and begins destroying He turns around, see more, but Superboy and Ultraman jump on top of the truck and begins to rip the robots apart. As they crawl on them, two of the robots shoot laser beams at the tires, causing the truck to go out of control. Get out, demanded Robin, who grabs the man and jumps off of the truck, which tumbles over. The back blows up and the robots fly off with the cargo. Ultraman pushes the truck off of them and both of their vision begins to work. Superboy goes after the truck. Superboy, exclaimed the teen, but neither listen. Ultraman then fires beams from his eyes, but they miss. Robin to Aku. Alad, we lost our cargo. It's gone, so are my partner, said Robin, who watches the two chase after the robots. Aqualad to Superboy, tell us your location so we can help, said Aqualad. I don't need any help, snarled Superboy, ripping out the comm. Brother, where are you? Thought Naruto, having Hiwanoshisha set up a link. Get out of my head, Naruto. I don't need or want help, growled Superboy. Superboy, said Aqualad, but he got no answer. He ditched it and he's not listening to me, and Hiwanoshisha can't get a read on his location, said Ultraman, who's annoyed at Superboy's action. Super, we lost track of him too, complained Kid Flash. He's out of my range, said Miss Martian, who's unable to locate his whereabouts. This Professor Evo, if he is alive, seems To be 2 steps ahead of us and maybe we should contact Red Tornado. Wondered the female Martian. Tornado always says handle things ourselves and the mission can still success if we recover the parts before they are reassembled. Said Aqualad. That's a great plan except for the part about us not knowing where to look. Exclaimed Kid Flash. Maybe we do. Said Robin. He then plugs in a cord into one of the robots. We would have heard by now if the decoy trucks had been attacked, so how did these monkeys know exactly which truck to target? Ha. The parts has GPS. The monkeys can TRA. CK the signal, which means I can track them with the one I captured. Looks like both sets of parts are converging on Gotham City. Said Robin with a frightful expression. That far south. Magon. And I won't get there anytime. I'm sending Kid over there to meet you. Aqualad out. Said Aqualad. Kid Flash grins and puts his goggles on. He then takes off running. Robin pressed a button on his gauntlet, causing the bike to rise up. Definitely a diester heavy on the disc. Said Robin. Just like our last few missions. Groaned Ultraman. He then picks up Robin and flies. Location. Metropolis. Within a diner, both Bryce and Clark are seen sitting across each other. Apple pie. Said Clark. The devil's food. Said Bruce. Both men hand the menu back to the waiter. As the wait are left, Clark turns towards Bruce. Something tells me this isn't about dessert. Said Clark. The boys needs you. Said Bruce. No, they needs you. He needs Red. I'm just a constant reminder. He's not, and the other one, he's the offspring of General Zod. It's better if I keep my distance. Said Superman. Sorry Clark, but you're dead wrong. Look, I know they troubles you, but they are her. You have to get over the how and why. Trust me on this. That boy needs his father and Naruto needs proper guidance. Guidance only you can give. Said Bruce. Bruce raises up. I'm not. That boy is fat. Her and this. Naruto. I won't take him in. Said Clark. He puts on his hat and turns towards a cook. I'll have that pie to go. Said Clark. Bruce could only shook his head at how unfair he's being to Superboy and Ultraman. Location. Gotham City. On a train, the robots are putting the cargo inside of it. Superboy then jumps on top of the train. He then rips a hole and jumps inside. He then sees a wee LL dressed man and the robot monkeys. Oh, hello there. Said the old man. You're Evo. I'm whelmed. States Superboy, not expecting some skinny man to be what all the talk is about. Evo stares at Superboy with a smug grin. You're when to talk. Since when did the big blue had a brat? Asked Evo. Superboy narrowed his eyes at the human. He doesn't. Said Superboy. Evo simply shrugged his shoulders. Yeah, if you say so. Have you met my mobile optimal neural quotient infiltrators? Asked Evo. Each of them flies towards Superboy. He punches each one that comes near him. Evo looks down at the destroyed head of his machine. And after all the trouble went through finding an acronym for monkey. Groaned Evo. Superboy grabs the 2 robots and slams them against each other, destroying them. Access. Captain Atom. Said a machine, blasting Superboy with an energy beam. Superboy looks up at Evo. The man smiles at the young boy. Since Professor Ivo's magnificent monkeys don't float. Your oath, maybe my amazing Amazon will better suit you or better slay you. Said Evo. The Amazo android walks out of the shadows with his eyes a vibrant red. Superboy rises to his feet and wipes dirt from his face. Give me your best shot. Said Superboy. Evo chuckles at him. Please, my Amazo has the strength of Superman. What chance do you have? Mocked Evo. Superboy charges at the Maki. Nay, but each time he sends a punch, Amazo simply blocks it. He then pushes the robot again, but Amazo catches his fist, crushing it, causing Superboy to scream in pain. Oh, sorry, did that strike a nerve? Amazo, strike a few more. Commanded Evo. Amazo gives Superboy a strong uppercut, causing him to hit the ceiling and hit the floor roughly. Superboy rises to his feet once again. Access. Black Canary. Said Amazo. His mouth opens up and release a sonic wave at Superboy, causing him to hold on to his ears in pain. The sonic wave blasts Superboy back. The young teen rises up. Access. Flash. Said Amaze. He then dashes towards Superboy and giving him rapid high-speed punches. The boy once again falls to the ground. Evo looks at Superboy with a smug grin. No wonder daddy has you hidden away, you real Lee aren't doing justice to the big S, are you? Asked Evo. Superboy gets up. Go for a punch. Access. Manhunter. Said Amazo, phasing right through the punch. He then punches Superboy out of the cart. Access. Superman. Said Amazo. He lifts Superboy and then punched him, sending him flying into a building. Amazo then turns to his creator. Finish priority Alpha, said Evo. Robin and Ultraman H. Ad entered Gotham. They turn and see Kid Flash. So, you also changed, commented Ultraman as they noticed their red-haired friend had changed into his superhero costume. Are you kidding? I feel knack. Ed and Sylvies, you still tracking the parts? Robin asked Kid Flash. They were heading through Gotham but they appeared. Wait, they're at my school, exclaimed Robin. With the school Superboy CRA. She's against a trophy case. Amazo pick him up and swings the young Kryptonian around. He then released him, throwing into a locker. Superboy gets up and sees a poster of Superman. He then punches the pie. In rage he once again goes for a left hook but Amazo punches him into a science lab. That all you got, said Superboy, who's staring at the android. The Amazo raised his hand. Access, Captain Atom, said Amazo. From his palm energy begins to form and blast Superboy directly into the gym. As he raises his head from the floor he hears clapping. He turns and sees Evo clapping. I don't usually attend these things in person but hey, this was too good to miss, said Evo. Access, Superman, said Amazo. Superboy gets up and runs at Amazo with a left hook but Amazo dodges and counters with beating Superboy with various punches. He then smacks him to the ground and raises both hands in the air. Yoink, said Kid Flash, picking up Superboy and running off, saving Superb. Oi from being smashed into the ground. Ultraman flies into Amazo. He then grabs Amazo by the head, throwing him into the bleachers. Robin then throws a batarang at Amazo. Access, Manhunter, said Amazo, allowing him to phase his body through the bat-themed weapon. Access, Red Tornado, said Amazo. A red tornado forms around him. He then sends each hero flying back. He then stands in front of Kid Flash. Access, Captain Atom, said Amazo, firing a blast at Kid Flash but he avoids it. Kid Flash runs around. Access, Black Canary, said Amazo, hitting him with a sonic blast, throwing him back. Superman, said Amazo, blocking both Ultraman and Superboy. He then slams both Kryptonians into each other and throws both into the bleachers. Robin throws another batarang. Manhunter, said Amazo. He stray TCHES his arm, blocking the weapon. He then slams his arm into the ground, forcing Robin to dodge. Kid Flash runs at him but Amazo bear hugs Kid Flash. Superman, said Amazo, who begins crushing Kid Flash. Martian Manhunter, said Amazo, phasing his body thus dropping Kid Flash. He also avoids a black and crimson batarang and a blood red X boomerang. Both weapons land right next to Robin, who narrow Ed his eyes at the weapons more so at the batarang. Superboy and Ultraman charged at him. Access, Black Canary, said Amazo, throwing the two in the bleachers. Robin then throws batarangs at Amazo. Superman, said Amazo. He then fires lasers at the young boy. Fortunately Kid Flash tackles Robin to the floor. Both Kryptonians rise up. Ultraman narrowed his eyes at Amazo. Damn it, we're getting nowhere, said Ultraman. Yawn. Normally Amazo would study and mimic your abilities during battle but what's the point, you're all such poor copies of the original, said Evo. Ultraman narrowed at the scientist. So everyone keeps saying that, pisses me off, growled Ultraman. Both boys jump at Evo but the man narrowly dodges. Let's see who cocky you were when I break every bone in that body, roared Ultraman. Aw man, Ultraman is pissed too, exclaimed Kid Flash. Robin smiles at Kid Flash. Maybe not, said Robin. Evo fearfully runs away. Amazo, protect your master. Priority Alpha, scream. Ed. Evo. Ultraman fires a Hest vision from his eyes. Evo jumps down, avoiding the blast. Captain Atom, said Amazo. He fires an energy blast at Ultraman. Anyone wanna play keep away, joked Robin, kicking the professor to the ground. Oh, me, screamed Kid Flash, who runs towards Evo. Superman, said Amazo. He stomps on the ground, sending a wave at Kid Flash, throwing him into the bleach. Robin throws batarangs at him. Martian Manhunter, said Amazo, turning his body intangible. Both Superboy and Ultraman drop in front of him, placing their fist into his head and torso. It makes its LF tangible, thus destroying the machine. With its head blown off and a hole in its chest, it falls back. Help me disassemble him, exclaimed Robin, who runs over to the body. Dude, he has no head and there's a hole in his chest, said Kid Flash. Don't take any chances, said Aqualad, who finally appears. Miss Martian flies down and helps the two up. Superboy, Ultraman, are you okay? asked a concerned Miss Martian. Ultraman nods his head and Superboy smiles. Fine, just feeling the aster, said Superboy. Hey, Where's Evo? Questioned Kid Flash, but none of them can spot the man or his robots. Location: Mount Justice. The team stands in front of Batman, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Red Tornado. The Amazo android has been taken apart once again safely. Being analyzed at the two separate Star Labs, but Evo has escaped since he originated the tech. He's obviously more dangerous than the android, said Aqualad. Capturing the professor will be the League's priority, said Black Canary. Martian Manhunter then crosses his arm. But we understand your mission encounter other complications, said Martian Manhunter. With everyone staring at Superboy and Ultraman, the two look away. Batman then steps up. Complications come with the job. Your ability to handle them has impressed the League, said Batman, staring at the two Kryptonians. The whole League? Asked Superboy. Ultraman is also staring at the Dark Knight. Given time, yes, Kryptonians, as you know, have very hard heads, said Batman, causing the two to smile. Of course, there's no shame in asking for help. That's why the League exists, because there's problems even we can't handle individually, said Batman. Please, if we needed help, we'll never get the chance to ask. Look familiar, Batman, said Robin, pulling out the weapons he found. You still don't trust us? You're still babying us. I thought you trusted us, exclaimed Robin. We didn't follow you, said Batman. Picks up the Batarang. He then scans the Batarang. This isn't one of mine. The Batarangs we use are made from a very lightweight iron, but this is made from promethium and lead. I also have no idea what the other weapon is, said Batman. I know whose they are, said Ultraman, causing everyone to turn towards him and having Ultraman be under the infamous Bat Glare. They belong to Projects BB and RX, said Ultraman. Batman glares at Naruto. Explain more, ordered Batman. Ultraman nods his head. Project BB and Project RX stands for Project Batman Beyond and Red X, said Ultraman, shocking the everyone. I never met the two, but they used your DNA and Catwoman's DNA to create Batman Beyond, and they used the DNS of Ra's al Ghul for Red X, but they, myself and Superboy, are part of Project Justice League of America. It is a team of superhumans Cadmus had created. Their purpose is to combat the League and end them. They also have the Flash's DNA. They call it Project REFL, but his code name is Zoom. There's also two more people in the ground, Zan and Jaina, who are metahumans they created. Zan can turn himself into any form of water, and Jaina, she can turn herself into any animal, said Ultraman. Batman turns towards Green Arrow. He then turns back to Ultraman. Thank you, Ultraman, this may help us later in the future, said Batman, but the man was containing his anger that Cadmus had created a clone of himself and his on and off again girlfriend Catwoman. Ultraman and Superboy walks over to Black Canary. We're ready, said Superboy, causing Black Canary to smile at them. Next day, Ultraman and Superboy stand in front of Batman and Black Canary. Ultraman wears a new costume. His new uniform is black and white, with a white cape and his iconic House of Zod emblem in red. Notable differences from his original costume included the front of the cape extending over the middle of his chest, framing his insignia, and the addition of two white bands around each of his forearms and shins. You've called Batman? Asked Ultraman. Batman nods his head. Yes, since a certain someone has been incooperative, we decided you should have someone who can teach the two of you how to properly use your powers, said Batman. I will still be in charge for combat training, but you two need a teacher who can show you how to use your powers without the risk of you two destroying something accidentally, said Black Canary. Really? Who's going to train us? Captain Atom, Icon, Captain Marvel? Asked Superboy. Out of any of the heroes, Icon seemed like the best pick, mostly because how similar his and Superman's powers are. Nope, me, said a female. Both Ultraman and Superboy turn and see Supergirl stands behind. She then turns towards Ultraman and smiles at him. I must say I like this new look, said Supergirl. Ultraman raised an eyebrow at her. Wait, you don't hate me? You do know I am the clone of Zod, right? Asked Ultraman. Supergirl nods her head. Yeah, but you aren't I am. That's obvious, and I don't think we were properly introduced. I'm Supergirl, said Supergirl. She extended out her hand, she then flashing him a bright smile, causing the male blonde to blush. N looks down at her hand and slowly reaches out and shakes her hand. You can call me Ultraman, and this is my brother Superboy, said Ultraman. Superboy smiles at the female Kryptonian. The end. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.